Before we got the legendary films such as Jaws, Indiana Jones, E.T., and Jurassic Park, the legend of Spielberg started with a little film about a truck and some really crazy road rage with 1971's Duel. Let's go.
Flip the switches to maximum amplification as Parker, Dan, and Angela prepare for their operation. With trivia and plot points scrawled across their walls, laughter and debate erupts as the movie's drama calls. The world may call them crazy, minds gone astray, but genius and passion and madness all dance the same way. Now the show begins to rise from its broadcast realm, and you can open your eyes as we dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film Podcast, a podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Dan and Angela.
Hello.
Still weird. It's still weird that I'm not adding the second part of that intro, but I'm going to get used to it, guys. I'm going to get used to it.
I know. Well, it'll come back one day.
Yes. And back once again to talk about a movie hopefully he enjoys, because we do like to torture our guest here with some pretty big stinkers. But today I think could be a different story. We got Darin Lundberg back, host of the Nostalgia Cast and Back to Bluey. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. Parker, we were messaging each other, and this is I don't know if anybody's, I'm probably blanking on it, but like to talk Spielberg is like catnip. So I love that you guys thought of me for this one. So, and especially Duel, which I hadn't seen in forever, but I've loved forever, if that makes any sense.
This, I don't know why I just thought of like, hey, we should cover Duel. But this is episode 199. Next week is our big 200. And I didn't want to hop back into the Underworld series for 1 week and then do our special 200 episode. So I said, look, you got to fill something in. And I was just like, we've talked about Duel a few times on the show and the possibility of covering it. I think it was back like when I bought this Blu-ray like 2 years ago, I think was the first time I was like, we got to cover Duel. It's Spielberg. It's an awesome movie. Like we got to talk about it. It's been a long time since we've last discussed it, but I said, why not cover Duel now? Why not do it? It's the 50th anniversary this year of Jaws, and we're going to be doing some Jaws stuff later on in the year. But like, why not talk about the movie that kind of helped inspire Spielberg's,
spiritual cousin?
Yeah, his vision for Jaws, and that is 100% Duel.
Well, it's about time, Charlie. You want me to hit that car head on.
Dennis Weaver.
Okay, Jack, I've had it. Why? Why is he doing this?
Duel.
This was the movie that kind of helped create that subgenre of like the road rage, like movies. Like if you think of like a lot of them came out in like the 90s and the early 2000s. The one that like pops into my head immediately is like Joyride.
Candy cane.
Yeah.
Love that one.
It's 100% an homage to Duel, just with
they
a
drive
little bit
a Chrysler product.
Exactly. So
They drive a 72 Chrysler New Yorker, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, there's other ones out there. I mean, even you could, there's a 100%. You got to think. I haven't seen anything to state that this is true, but I could see Stephen King writing trucks, right? And like he kind of is. I could see him watching Duel as he's writing the short story Trucks, which would eventually turn into Maximum Overdrive. They're not the same, but no. I mean, you got to think like the truck in this. And the trucks in that movie, they kind of do similar things, but one is, of course, a human, and the other being a sentient being or alien, whatever it was in Maximum Overdrive. So a lot of movies have paid homage to this over the years. Spielberg himself has paid homage to this movie in other movies that he has done. He's even stated it in interviews. He does it a lot. He doesn't care. He loves, taking things that he's done in earlier works and putting them in later ones, like actors and set pieces and sounds, which we'll talk about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Duel was what started it all. This was a 25-year-old Steven Spielberg. He literally was just doing television shows, and his assistant came to him with a story that she found in a Playboy. And I love the interview that he does on the Blu-ray where he's like, the first thing he says to his assistant is like, "What are you doing with a Playboy?"
What do you think he's doing with the Playboy?
No,
Reading the articles
it was a
like
woman.
he's
It's a
supposed
woman.
to.
It was a woman.
She did read the articles like she was supposed to.
That's what women read Playboy.
Yeah,
for, right?
she's like,
it's for everybody.
She's like, I have something that I think you'd be interested in. And I guess when she gave Steven the short story from the Playboy, like I guess it was already in the works to become like an ABC movie of the week. It was already being written for TV, but they didn't have a director at the time. So she was like, read this and call and, apply to be the director for the movie. And as soon as he read the short story, he already had a lead actor in mind, which was Dennis Weaver, who, fun fact, which is crazy that there's a fact from this movie or a behind the scenes of this movie that links to our movie from last week, Get Shorty. Dennis Weaver was hired, or was Spielberg's first choice to be the lead in this movie based on his performance in a movie called Touch of Evil, which is the movie that John Travolta is watching in the theater in Get Shorty.
Adoring is more the word.
Yes, adoring. Yes, 100%. So I as soon as I read that fact, I'm like, there's no way. Like, this wasn't on purpose. It was just, ironic that happened. And literally, I guess like 20 years later, there was like a Weaver actually interviewed Spielberg kind of as like it was like a 20th anniversary retrospective interview that Weaver did with Spielberg. And Spielberg's like, I watch Touch of Evil at least twice a year. Like, that's how much, I just knew as soon as I read the character in the short story, I knew that you were the one that needed to be, that guy. So,
not calling you out. Have you guys seen Touch of Evil?
No, just the clips that they show in Get Shorty.
You guys will love it. I promise you, you will love it. So just as soon as you can, watch Touch of Evil. You'll be just like John Travolta, just staring at the screen.
One of my favorite lines from Get Shorty is the fact where he tells Karen, Rene Russo's character, like, "Hey, you want to go see Touch of Evil? Charlton Heston's playing a Mexican."
Yeah.
But
that's great.
Really, I thought that was a really, really cool fact that I read. Spielberg had 10 days to film this. Like, this was made for TV. There was no, there was like, you have 10 days to make this movie. And he said, I put everything I could into making this movie in that allotted time. It actually went to 13 days because he needed 3 extra days for additional shots and things to add on later on that would turn into a theatrical cut of this movie, because this was a TV movie initially. So it had to be a certain parameter. So it ran at 74 minutes. After
widely regarded as the greatest TV movie of all time.
When you watch this movie, it does not feel like it was a TV movie.
No, it does not.
This is one I would have loved to see on the big screen. Like, this is, if I could get a screening of this at a local theater, I will do it. Like, show this movie. People need to see it on the big screen. So, and the funny thing is after he was done filming, he in the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, he literally states how he could never film like this again. He could never make a movie that quick. He said it like he did it because he had to, and he was very impressed with what he could do in that short amount of time, because he had everything planned out. He literally had maps of like streets in California where they were filming, which was near LA, which clearly you could see, or Pasadena. And, he was very meticulous about everything that he was doing. And the fact that this was done in 10 days is just miraculous. But he literally stated, I couldn't do this again.
Yeah. he had to be that meticulous because I think George Eckstein or the studio or something was like, we need you to make this. It's crunch time. You need to make this in this allotted time, and you have to plan it out that far in advance to be that meticulous to really get this done. And so, yeah, he was a monster on this, basically.
Yeah, and so he got Richard Matheson on board to write the script, who was the writer of the original short story. For anyone who doesn't know who Richard Matheson is, he wrote I Am Legend, which would be turned into 3 different movies. I think 4 different movies, because there was 3 theatrical films and then 1 TV version that came out in like the early 2000s.
Omega Man with Charlton Heston. Speaking of Charlton Heston.
Yeah, Charlton. Yep. Omega Man, and then Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, and then of course I Am Legend with Will Smith. He also wrote a bunch of Twilight Zone shorts. He is responsible for writing the books or the short stories that would become turned into The Shrinking Man or The Incredible Shrinking Man. What Dreams May Come, the Robin Williams film. A Stir of Echoes, which was the one with Kevin Bacon, I think was in that. Yeah. And then he also wrote the short story that was turned into Real Steel, the Hugh Jackman movie, which I didn't even know that was a short story.
Yeah.
And then he also did The Box, which was a movie that starred Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, that was recently. Also, Somewhere in Time, which is weird, with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour.
Yes. But he also wrote
of all things.
But the funny thing is, again, I feel like we have this like weird, like fucking spider web of Corman connections because he worked with Roger Corman. He actually helped write, what was it? House of Usher, The Pit and the Pendulum, Tales of Terror, and The Raven. And then, and then he ended up doing Duel in 1971. The short story came out in April of 1971 in Playboy. And then this it just shows how much time.
Wow.
Yeah, literally was released on television on ABC November of 1971, which is just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's turned around. Yeah,
he was the writer for Jaws 3D.
That's right. That was the other thing thank you for bringing that up. I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
That's what he said.
I'm like, what?
Yes.
Like, you can't win them all.
That was written?
Sure
roughly.
Was. Sure was.
Oh, boy.
Coked out.
Now put
Dennis
the shitty
Quaid,
dolphins
baby.
in the background.
Yes.
Turn them yellow.
The brown dolphins just flopping all over the place. Oh yeah. So the original cut of this was 74 minutes. The theatrical cut was 90 minutes. Did you guys all watch I take it you guys all saw the 90-minute cut?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I think that's like the only way you can watch it now.
I think
probably.
So.
Like through rentals. I know that this one literally this very inexpensive Blu-ray. Literally, you could probably find this Blu-ray for like $7. I think I got it for like 10. It's hilarious because literally it says Duel. Steven Spielberg's first film right on the cover.
Yeah, I bought it about the same time you got yours.
Yeah, and then
watching it a couple years ago. I was like, oh yeah. Duel.
And then like 6 months after that, they were like, oh yeah, the 4K's coming out. I'm like, to be honest, after watching this Blu-ray, I'm like, I don't need the 4K. I don't need it. This looks great.
Even though it's dated, like the clothes and the hairstyles, I turned to my kids and I was like, these images are crystal clear. This is gorgeous. So yeah, even you just proved that you could make a gorgeous looking movie back then for all the kids today.
Yeah, the cinematography was done by Jack Marta. I figured since we're talking about how great this movie looks, should shout him out. He did a lot of movies. To be honest, I went through a lot of his filmography, which is a lot, and I don't really recognize. There's a lot of Westerns. I've never been a Westerns guy, so I'm looking at this like, I don't know. He did some Adam West Batman episodes. That was about the only thing I recognized from him, but got to shout him out anyways. The music was done by Billy Goldenberg, which is always weird because, of course, this was Spielberg's, this was his first film. So, of course, you're not going to be getting the John Williams score until, he did Sugarland Express in, 73?
Yeah. Yep.
Goldenberg, he didn't really do a whole lot that I recognize he did. He wrote a lot of music for the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Columbo, which was actually an episode that Spielberg, he showed the producer to kind of help him get the job. he showed him a episode of Columbo that he had directed that hadn't released yet. It actually released after Duel did. And yeah, it was released November 13th, 1971. And it stars Dennis Weaver as David Mann, who didn't know what his name was until about 40 minutes into this movie. You literally don't know his name. The whole it
doesn't matter.
No. But it's easy for my notes. I just put Guy because I haven't seen this movie in a while. I forgot his name.
Guy, man.
It's dude.
Thesaurus,
yeah. Dale Van Sickle.
You just put man,
Stash.
and you would have his last name.
That's true. Wow. Did you what? What did you say?
He's a pussy.
Oh yeah,
he's a pussy.
He is.
Until the last 5 minutes. Yeah. There's no other word for it. Man up, man. Seriously.
That's right.
Man up.
I have a good analogy for that later when we get to the part of how this movie kind of like played out for me, but
can't wait for that.
Vaguely inappropriate.
I have no idea what he's going to say.
We talked about it.
I love these conversations. These are my favorite conversations where Dan says, I got something to say. And I'm just like, I have no idea what he's going to say. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good.
I never know where he's going to go.
It's going to be spicy.
But nothing surprises me anymore.
It's going to be so spicy.
There's people at work that are like, ooh, we can't say that because present. And I'm like, you have no idea what I've heard. I'm not.
You don't know who I'm married to.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all haven't met him yet.
Have you listened to Dan for more than 5 minutes?
Hey, listen to an episode of our podcast. That's who I'm married to.
Our podcast, not mine. Like mine's like tough.
Yeah, yours is. Yeah, I was gonna say yours is like. Oh, so sorry, I said shit. I apologize.
My apologies.
I'm sitting there with my headphones in, going. I'm like that meme where the guy like rips off his headphones. Like,
listen, Magic players are of a higher caliber of citizens. That's not true. That's not true at all.
You hear that, audience?
Not true at all. Not true at all.
He's calling you all idiots.
He is talking out his ass at this point.
Listen,
he's like what Darin does on Twitter every day. Calls people idiots.
Seriously,
like the Snyder guys.
Oh
my gosh, yeah,
they deserve it.
Yeah, they do.
They're psychotic.
Listen, I'm a guy who enjoys Snyder films. Okay, but I'm not a Snyder bro. There's a difference.
There is a difference.
Exactly.
And it's easy to spot.
Oh, man. We got Dale Van Sickle as Weaver's stunt driver. Kerry Lofton as the truck driver, who literally was just a stuntman. You don't see his face, so they were like, we just need a stuntman to be the guy.
He was in Maximum Overdrive. He was
really?
Stunt Maximum Overdrive. Yes.
There we go. Another connection. There we go.
He's done like 300 and something stunt movies.
And these stuntmen were nuts back then.
Yeah, and
like
but he was in his 50s in this movie.
Well, we know that from when we covered Gone in 60 Seconds. It's the same shit, dude. They were just like running into shit. Like,
the main guy was a fucking crazy bastard. He ended up dying because of it.
Yeah. In one of his own fucking movies.
Yeah, in the sequel.
Yeah.
Yes. Good Lord.
You watch you watch the behind the scenes stuff to The Road Warrior, and every stunt that they pull off, somebody was grievously injured.
Yeah.
Every single stunt. Yeah, these guys, just for the sake of entertainment. I don't know how Tom Cruise gets away with it. Like, Tom Cruise just broke an ankle. Like, how, like, because he's nuts, obviously, but how does he not get hurt more?
He balances out with tickle fights in his movies. So
that's true.
Just the fact that he does his own stunts is
the fact that he's still so fast when he runs. He's so fast.
Fast for an 80-year-old.
They speed the footage.
He's definitely starting to look his age now.
It's catching up with him.
We got Jacqueline Scott as Mrs. Mann, Eddie Firestone as cafe owner. You don't see many of these people. It's like bits and pieces. The only people that are really super important in this movie is Dennis Weaver as David Mann and Kerry Lofton as the truck driver, because those are your two main guys. And one of them, you don't even see his face. You do see his face kind of when they do head-on shots, especially in high def. You don't see it fully, but you're like, you can definitely see the guy back there. But it doesn't lose that illusion for me, you know?
No. The guy's just Rusty
truck
Nail.
is alive.
That's his name.
Yeah,
that truck.
Rusty Nail.
It's literally like they're fighting, a truck from Maximum Overdrive. It's alive and there's no one back there until you see like an arm waving. Go around.
Hello. Go around. It's somebody else's arm. He just got it rigged up.
Yeah, got it attached.
Like Woody in Toy Story with Buzz's arm. Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Nesbit.
Something screwy here. Yeah.
Years academy training wasted.
Look at me.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh man, why haven't we covered that yet? We talk about all these
great
great movies and are like, we haven't even talked about them yet.
If you guys don't bring me back for Toy Story, I'm going to unfriend you on every platform.
Oh, no.
So everybody else already has.
The
so.
deepest threat.
You heard the threat.
Wow. Okay.
The
Yeah, there you go.
deepest of
Just saying.
threats. What's going on, everybody? It is Parker here to tell you about an amazing event called Live Stream for the Cure. Since 2017, this event has raised over $100,000 for cancer research and to make the world immune to cancer. So join us Friday, May 16th from 4 p.m. to midnight and Saturday, May 17th from 8 a.m. to midnight as we try to raise money for an awesome cause. And if you want to see Dissect That Film and what they're going to be doing for their segment, make sure to join us on Saturday, May 17th at 12 p.m. for whatever shenanigans are about to happen. So please join us for another awesome year of Live Stream for the Cure, 9 years running. See you then. Oh, all right. Well, I think it's time to hop into the plot of Duel. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Everybody put their seatbelts on. It's about to be a bumpy ride.
God, I don't have a seatbelt.
No, it's waist belts, baby.
That's right. It's the 70s, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. It is time to dissect
Dissect
that. I love when everybody gets loud and everybody peaks, so can't hear half the things you say. It's fine.
It's fine.
Normal.
So the movie opens to like a first-person shot of like somebody backing out of their garage and then driving around. This was added.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan?
The first vehicle we see.
Okay.
It's the ass end of a 70 or 71 Mercury Cyclone.
Okay.
Carry on.
No, that's fine. No, I just wanted to say that this was an added scene for the theatrical version of the film because
That makes sense.
this wasn't part of the TV cut.
Yeah.
Can I just say that everything that they add looks like it's part? It doesn't. Okay, they added that. Like it doesn't seem like it's not a part of it. It's
just
really
part of the
smart.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this was this was the 3 extra days that Spielberg had to get those added scenes to include them in this theatrical cut. But yeah, it's just a car driving through L.A. Pasadena. It's a major highway in California,
but it's very
And the
visceral.
ladies-
yes.
The lady's house that they used, they paid her $50 to use
Yeah.
her driveway.
$50.
We just got to back out just one time, I swear.
I think she said that this really nice gentleman came in and offered me $50 just to,
Yep.
and then that was Spielberg, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, these shots are very visceral. It automatically puts you in a POV in you're basically, before you even know it, you are the man, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
But he's it goes from a suburban neighborhood to a highway outside a city, and then it turns into a highway in the desert. I like how the environment changes as we go along to it also kind of sets a tone for the movie. Like, everybody's around, people are around. You just don't expect something is going to happen, right? To what we see in the film, where as he gets into the desert, it's more desolate. There's no one around, right? So
we're getting further and further away from civilization.
Exactly. So I like how that transition plays out. So he goes to it's called a changing station. That's what they called gas stations, I guess, back then. Didn't know that. It's like, all right.
Station, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. The attendant comes out and he is gonna pump gas, and then of course I love the whole thing. Is like, oh, you want me to check under the hood for you? I'm like, oh, I forgot that was a thing people would do at gas stations. Like, yeah, let me check under the hood for you. And he lifts the guy's hood up.
Yes.
He's like, hey, you need a radiator hose. You want me to add that for you? And he's like, yeah, I've heard that one before. It'll play on later. And okay.
Full service stations, really cool.
Mhm.
Used to do it back in the day. Mr. Man is a dickhead and should know what side of the vehicle to park on to get it fueled in. Just pointing that out. Listen, and before anybody asks, because this was made in 71, I don't think it is one, but it's either a 70 or a 71 Valiant, Plymouth Valiant.
Yes,
So, 69 had a different grill.
It is
I think Spielberg
71 Valiant. Yep.
He wanted a red car. Didn't care what kind of car it was. He just wanted it to stand out against the vistas.
Which is great. It pops very much in red.
Yes.
But the
yes, it does.
serviceman leaks,
Gets gas all over his trunk deck. I'm like, that's not good for the paint,
doesn't
bro.
wipe it off, and as he's holding it under his arm, he's leaking gas. Like he's charging him
I
more.
just wanted him to light up a cigarette. Like while
Just to let you know, yesterday before we put the movie on, I told my kids, again, Savannah, and I was like, do you guys want to watch Steven Spielberg's first feature-length movie? I have to watch it I'm watching it for a podcast. Let's sit down. And that was one of the things. You saw him spray gas, and my son was like, he just sprayed gas all over the back of his car. I thought that was funny.
They're so carefree back then. So carefree. So
you know what? It's leaded gas. It's fucking leaded gas.
That's what you get for parking on the wrong side of the pump, right?
Dude, he's a dickhead.
But
he should know.
He's a dick. Yeah.
Here's my rebuttal on that whole thing. I totally agree. I still see people who will park their car and then they do the thing. I'm like, no, I will wait behind somebody in order to just put the stupid fucking thing in the right side of the car.
Yes.
So I think this was more for a shot purpose because of the way that, because the truck, this is when we first see the truck, right? So the truck pulls in on the other side and if he was on the other side of the pump, you would see hit the truck's passenger side. Yeah. Unless they were to do a shot where he looks in his mirror and sees the guy's arm hanging out the window. That's the only other way I could think of. The reasoning with them doing it this way is for a shot reason, not because
Spielberg does this all the time. Like just to get a shot, he will kind of bend reality to get his shot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like you're talking about, Parker, it's like, yeah, it's on the wrong side. But I see that if he didn't want to get the driver's side or whatever, or didn't want to get the passenger side, you need to kind of make that sacrifice. But you know, it's just fun. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with that kind of thing at the end of the day.
Oh no, it's good. I mean, like you said, it could have been. It's either for the shot, like you said, it's probably just for the shot, but it could have been just an honest mistake, and maybe it just sets some subtones for the character here. I don't know.
They don't have the arrows to tell them which side.
They
of the
don't.
car
You had to remember those vehicles were not like that.
Right.
Hey, you could have made a U-turn and come in.
Well, but hold on. Now he could be more familiar. That could be a newer vehicle for him, and he could be more familiar with. There was a percentage of older vehicles where the gas filler tube was behind the license plate.
Right.
And
it's sacrificing logic for aesthetics, right? I mean, that's fine. Like
absolutely, it's great. I have no problem. I'm just pointing things out. And except for, I'm sorry for anybody who listens to this, and hopefully I got the state right. Oregon, I think, is one of the few states in the United States you cannot legally pump your own gas.
New Jersey,
really?
New Jersey as well. Yeah, you cannot do it.
Yeah,
it's against the law.
Okay.
Yeah, true fact.
I ain't letting somebody else pump my gas for me.
I know, right? Like, get the fuck out of here.
There's a couple gas stations like around me that are full service. Yeah, and I don't go to them. I don't like it.
The one that they're working on down by the car wash. That's what that used to be.
I would rather, if anything happens to my car, it's going to be my fault, not somebody else's. It's having to deal with all that bullshit.
Any cylindrical tubes inside my vehicle, it's going to be me.
Yeah, exactly. I just realized, because I'm an idiot, that I put changing stations because he was changing the radio stations. So I just skipped an entire scene before we even got to this gas station. I completely he literally so
Parker, it's your show. I didn't want to say.
No, that's fine. You could have called me out. You could have been like, "Oh no." So yeah, he was changing the gas.
We met the truck.
Yeah, let's hit the fucking rewind button there. He's changing the radio station, and I love the randomness that's going on the radio. You got the guy who's like, he's listening to a guy talk about asking somebody how to fill out a census form, and then he's just like talking bad shit about his wife. He's like, I've been married to her for 25 years. I don't know if that was a good idea.
Well, I even said that this seemed rather progressive for this, I guess.
Oh yeah, because he talks about how she works and he's at home.
Yeah, he's
doing the cleaning
maker.
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, the whole point of this, like, first this is all about masculinity. This movie, right? It's all about or being emasculated. So if you see the car, the POV shots, that's what a man does. He speeds through streets, right? Whether it's a neighborhood, whether it's a city, whether it's a Mojave Desert, he'll speed through. When it's
way too close to his steering wheel, too.
When it's, I'm just going to call him Mr. Man. I like calling him just Mr. Man. But when he's listening to the radio, that whole radio, he's listening to the guy talking about how, yeah, my wife wears the pants. I don't wear the pants. That's a comment on what the rest of the movie is going to be. So even what I love about this movie is it's going to make comments on that theme of the movie without dialogue, if that makes sense. So it's already setting the stage for this guy's character. That's just very smart writing.
Yes,
Hey, are you trying to take your pants off?
I am.
The real men do.
He's over here
true. We got
messing
the-
with his belt. I'm like,
Man,
So-
I gotta man,
Sure.
men in tights. I was like, where's my tights? Damn it.
So while he's doing this, he pulls up behind a tanker truck, and it's you get to see both sides of the truck. You get to see of course, he pulls up behind it, but it also shows the front of the truck, which shows all the different license plates, which is got a cool little backstory behind that and what kind of the whole purpose was behind him having all the license plates. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, you get the whole thing where he passes the truck and he thinks he's in the clear, and then the truck just blasts by him. And he's just like, all right, like, whatever. And I love
Again, that's a statement on masculinity, right? The truck
Yep.
is this big phallic, this penis-shaped truck that's larger than his little truck. Like that's a manly thing to do. You pass the guy that's going too slow, and then when he passes him again, that's another And I love how it's just an everyday thing at this point, right? We don't really sense this truck driver as a threat quite yet. It's going to build to that.
It's just one of those type of situations on the road, right? Yeah, like it's
Yeah, we
like
should
okay, I'm
shrug
just
it off
gonna-
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he passes the truck again, and instead of the truck, you get in that same reaction. The truck just lays on his horn, and our main character just keeps on going. And then, I love that again. Listening to what's going on the radio, hilarious, because right before he gets to the gas station, you hear a guy. He's like, "Oh, hey, whatever. What do you do?" He's like, "I play meat." He's like, "You play what?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Meat?"
Yeah.
Like MEAT? He's like, "Yeah, I play meat."
It's a great conversation.
Like, all right.
Even Mr. Man laughs about it a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like, what is this?
Yeah. But he so yeah, we get the gas station scene. He pulls in, the truck pulls in. You never see the truck driver's face. All you see was his arm, and then he gets out of the truck, and all you see are his boots as he's
The shit
walking.
kickers.
Yep, as he's like kicking the tires and all that.
Well, it's cool because it's Mr. Man's POV, right? He's trying to check this guy out. Like, what
trying
is
to
up
figure
with
out who
this
he
guy?
is. Yeah. And we get the radiator hose comment and he kind of blows it off. He's like, "Yeah, I've heard it before. I'm not gonna worry about it." The guy's like,
That might
"All
come
right, yep, it's gonna be it's gonna come back."
Isn't it cool that we don't see the truck driver exit the truck?
Nope.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks away real quick, and then you hear the door shut. He looks up, and the guy's out of the truck.
Which I like
Yeah,
that. I
already
like the
missed
fact that the reason we don't see it is because man's not looking at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's when he hears the door shut, he reacts, and then that's when he's staring at his boots.
Yeah,
while he's
it
walking
also
on the other
happens
side.
maybe a little too fast. Like, how did he get on the
Yeah.
other side of the truck? It's already laying. I think Spielberg has said that the guy is real, but it's already setting like the supernatural idea that what this guy's not quite human. I like that it's again just little hints. It's going to build to something more serious.
Yeah, he's more of like a monster.
smart.
You're seeing a
Yeah.
monster form. I love the comment though, where the attendant's like, "You're the boss," and man goes, "Not in my house, I ain't."
Another comment.
He goes in there.
I wear pants.
I love how he just like sprawls out when he goes on the phone inside the little shack. He's just got his
He's
leg up on
trying-
the counter. He's just-
It's so awkward. Like he's like, I've seen a man do this on TV, right? So I'm going to try to copy that. 'Cause
Yeah.
my name is Man, obviously. And it's awkward. And then the woman comes in
Yeah,
with
the
the
little-
laundry and he
little
has to
lady.
move. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Again, this guy, Mr. Man is not very likable. Damn, like you said, he's a dickhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's-
got that
that's the
bit
thing.
to him.
So he calls his wife, and they're having this conversation, and you kind of don't really know what's going on. He's like apologizing to her about something that happened the night before at a party, and she even mentioned something about how like some guy at the party like pretty much assaulted her, but
Yeah.
she's okay, like she's fine. And you're like, well, I would like to know more about what the hell this is going on here, but we're not going to know anything else. This is all we get. and we move on.
This was added too, wasn't it? This is another additional scene.
Yes, because this would have been too much for TV. This conversation.
It's so smart again. It still adds to the whole emasculation of this guy and how he's not in charge of anything. He can't even stand correctly when he's talking on the phone.
That's what I was talking to Angela about, where she said she talks about practically being raped, and he didn't do anything about it. He didn't say anything about it. And I was like, well, this is literally this dude. Like, he's now thrust into this situation for the rest of the movie where he's pretty much powerless. So he's put in the same role his wife was, and in a sense, like, you know,
that's why
that was my thing.
He basically says, you basically just wanted me to punch this guy in the face in front of it, which is what we want him to do with the truck.
I'm sorry, but if that's happening to my wife, somebody's getting a fucking fist.
But isn't it cool too how the woman opens the washer door and it's like we're seeing him through a fishbowl lens.
Yeah.
You know, so we're watching this guy be a pussy. Like, we're watching him like not, and so they're setting us up for his character. Right, for what he's supposed. You can tell that's where it's going. There's nothing really deep about this movie. It's just very efficient. You only have 74 minutes, really, to make a statement. And so they're just giving you these things to just hit the nail on the head and move on. It's really smart.
So we leave the shack, and he's talking to the attendant, and the truck is like honking at the attendant. Like, you don't hear any voice. You don't hear a voice or anything. It's just the horn. The horn is this guy's voice. And the guy's like, I'll be ready in a second, you know, casually just kind of blowing him off. And man doesn't really kind of take notice of it. He just kind of hops in his car and goes. And as soon
as anybody else side with the truck driver at this point? I'm like, why aren't you helping him? Like, he's been sitting there for 10 minutes and you're not helping him. My kids are like, they're not helping him out.
Yeah, like the dude, like, went in there the whole time on the phone. Like, he could have started.
What was the attendant doing?
He already filled him up, right?
Yeah.
Never going back to this one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too slow.
Enough of this changing station.
Yeah. Done.
God, if only I knew how to read my notes. That's wild. So he gets back on the road, and shortly after that, the truck is right on his ass. He's like getting right up on there to the point where he, you know, you get the first, you know, man is the one who sticks his arm out the window and kind of motions him to pass, and the truck passes, and then he's behind the truck, because as soon as the truck passes, the truck slows down. So then he gets behind the truck, and he's just like, dude, I let you go. Like, what the hell? Like, I feel like I've been in this situation before where, like, you're nice and you let somebody, you know, you're at a stop sign or whatever, and you just kind of wave somebody to go, and then they're the slowest goddamn driver on the road, and you're like, come on, there should be some sort of agreement here.
Right.
I let you go, you drive a little faster.
Exactly.
So as the truck is going, he sticks his arm out the window and motions for man to pass, and he's like, all right, sure. As he's about to go around, though, a car's coming the other way. So it's like, oh, something's going on here. And man's already picking up on it.
Yeah. This is the first threat, I would say. This is where all of a sudden it starts turning, because he's waved him on. He can obviously see in front of him. He was trying to get man to move into the lane so that he get hit by the car. So
yeah, it gets to the point where he gets so annoyed, he literally like drives off road just to pass the truck, just to get around him. He literally takes this little side path to get around him. And this is when like the first like chase happens, where you see man gradually speed up. He's going like 50, 60, 70. He gets up to like 80. And this truck is right on him the entire time. And it gets to the point where he's even honking his horn when he gets up on his ass. And it's just getting aggressive. And of course, man is like, he's like almost in tears. He's like, come on, like, what the hell, man? Like, he's terrified of what's going on. I don't understand what's going on.
The truck driver's been emasculated, and he's not going to stand for it. With him going off road to beat him, it's like, oh, this is you picked the wrong day to pick on this guy or to antagonize this guy.
I mean, it even gets, I think, because I keep showing the speedometer in his car, he gets up to 100, and this truck is still on him.
How? Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm trying to figure out what engine is in this little Valiant because you never get a shot of it. So it's either a 318 or a 225. And I just don't know which one's in it. And I'm like, God, 100? But they are going down a hill. Like, I don't know. Like, that makes, I want to think it's the 318 of it's going to be any of the two, but it doesn't sound like it. You could hear the truck like over everything. So I don't know.
Apparently the truck wasn't going that fast either.
No, I mean, he
in
just
real,
had
in real life.
Yeah,
In
it
real
was only going like 30 miles an hour.
Because the way Spielberg would shoot it, he would always shoot it with cliff walls behind it. So when you were shooting at and I think what was cool, and Parker, I'm sorry if you already had this information, but I think Spielberg borrowed this like little, like lower car from from Bullet, the movie with Steve McQueen in it.
Yep.
So they borrowed this car, the insert car, right? So they would get low angles. So you could get a low angle and you could angle it in a way where it looks like the cliff are going by faster than it actually is. And yeah, the truck never went over 30 miles. How masterful is that? That it feels like, and I said to my kids too, I'm like, this movie is basically two shots. It's a shot of man and it's a shot of the truck like barreling down on him. But Spielberg, how many ways does he shoot those two shots where it feels so threatening? And for 90 minutes, right? How does he do that? It's incredible. But yeah, just the way, I just love the idea that you can shoot certain things a certain way to make it feel like a threat, even though you know what I mean. That's filmmaking. I think it's magical.
Well, I mean, even if you think of the concept of this movie, I mean, realistically, not a lot happens in the film, and like most of it's just on the road, man and the truck, and he just makes it like so interesting. Always like the different angles and perspectives, and it's just there's always something going on.
Well, we're going to talk about more of it. This is like the epitome of suspense, right? I mean, if you when the truck's not there, you feel it. Yeah, you're right, Dan. It's like nothing much happens, but it's so tense. At the end of the movie, my kids were like, "I think I need therapy," because they were just so run through the ringer because of the movie. I think that's a high compliment.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about it's the next scene coming up is probably the most tense scene for me in this movie. Because I'll usually stand up. That's my cue. Like that's probably, and I'm still watching the movie. That means some shit's going on.
Oh yeah, when you're standing in Victor's room, the door.
Always gets to me, and I know nothing's gonna happen because the scene is like truly terrifying, but like it's so effective.
Yeah.
So back to the car. There were 4 cars used during production. One of them was in 1969 model of the Valiant. That was a 318 V8.
They probably changed the grill on it. 69 had. What, was I muted?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. They probably changed the grill on it because 69, well, the body's the same, the grill is different on a 69 than a 70. But it's easy swap. They could have made it work or just not filmed it from the front.
Yeah, I guess it was modified to look like the 70 model.
Yep.
But there was a 72 model that was, I guess there was a 72 that was used.
Must have been a real early 72.
Yeah, it had to be, especially since this was made in 71. But that's kind of how car production works.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so he, everything's going crazy. He's getting honked out. The truck is literally on his ass to the point where he loses control and crashes into a fence outside of a diner. And, guys come over to check if he's all right and see what's going on. And he is like quivering behind his steering wheel. And the guy's like, "What happened? You all right?" He's like, that truck, it was trying to run me off the road. Did you see that? And I just love the guy's just like, "Okay, son, like whatever you say, pal." And then I love how he walks over to the other guy who's just kind of casually standing like 50 yards away. Like,
Isn't it funny that we're quivering too? Like we're nervous too. Dan, was this the scene we haven't got to the scene you meant yet?
Almost there.
Okay, almost there. But yeah, the scene is he's lucky he didn't hit any cars and then he just hit that.
Yeah.
Really intense. Yeah.
That happened to me in real life.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
similar situation.
Well, like a
threading
chased by a monster truck.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened because we could talk about car. So when you're young and dumb, you drag race another guy. I had my dad's piece. These are not fast cars you race in. I was not with Angela at the time. I was 17.
I was not young and dumb.
My dad had a 95 Buick LeSabre, 3.8 liter. And this other dude had a 95, 96 Monte Carlo, 3.1 liter. He was smaller car, slightly smaller car. And we raced down the one-way. Okay, one-way street. Start getting into cars on the other side of the road. He stops. I beat his ass first off. Timeout. Beat his ass.
That's the only
Gotta get that in.
Manly. So I forgot about the substantial dip in the road, which is why he slowed down, but I still had him. And I didn't stop in time. And I hit the dip and I went airborne in this car that was never designed to go airborne. And I hit one way. So 2-lane, one way, cars parked on both sides. I hit, cocked this direction and slid forward and didn't hit a single car on either side of me.
But what damage did you do to the car?
I had to fix the transmission pan. I was so devastated because it was my dad's car. I had to tell him. It took me 30 minutes to get it out of my mouth to tell him what I did.
And
I did the repairs myself.
What's so funny is the roads. I'm pretty sure you showed me the road.
Yeah, it's
There's
the one
a big
going behind
yellow
McDonald's.
sign that says dip.
Well, when you're coming on it fast and you're racing, you're paying attention to the guy left to you. And I'm young and I was an idiot, and you shouldn't do that because you're endangering other people's lives, including yourself. Don't do that shit.
Was your dad at least proud of you for winning?
I don't know. I don't remember. I tell you what, though, he didn't yell at me.
That must be
Because
it.
I told him what
probably
happened. I told him what happened. He was disappointed, as he should be, because I do the same thing with my son. When he fucks it bad, I was like, dude, you told me. We could figure it out. And that was kind of what he did to me.
Admitted to it.
So I told him the night of, I
step.
told him, and then like 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, dude, I got that gasket. I was like, all right, I'm going to put it in. So in pans, we put in training pan, filter, all that stuff. There you go. It's a weird story. I just threaded the needle, dude.
Good man,
The
Dan.
dumb thing I did is watch the people drag race, and we almost got caught by the
Oh,
cops.
that was cool, though. We almost did get caught by the cops. Quit getting the Firebird. Whop! Also a true story. But anyway,
But we weren't young at the time.
we're young-ish.
we were already together, so I was in my 20s.
No, well,
Yeah.
Still young.
That's still young.
we're like 19 and 20.
I'm like
what's Dad
75 now. That's
Damn it. Yes, carry on with the story. Fence, creepy dudes, doesn't hit anybody.
Yes. Oh, the guy tells the other dude, he's like, I just got a little bit of whiplash. That's all he tells him.
God, this is what I heard. Dude's got a little bit of bitch neck.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah.
I just get
That's what I heard too. Because he's like,
heard.
He's
So, yeah.
he's over there like, eh.
please help me. So he goes.
survive the war.
I got scared.
Anyway, carry on.
So he goes into the diner to kind of get himself kind of right in the head to continue his journey. So originally he's supposed to be going to, like, I'm guessing his boss's house, or he's supposed to be going to like somebody he
sales
works
trip.
with.
It's a sales trip. He's trying to sell something to some. It's very vague. Like he's talking on his wife. Like
Yeah.
when Mrs. Mann, I love saying that. When Mrs. Mann is like, we need you back by 6. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. I need you back by 6.
Yeah.
But I need to do this for my job. Okay, but be there back by 6. Okay, I will. It's vague enough that you know he's out there for whatever reason.
He said something about keeping the account. That's all I
Yeah.
know. So it's
Yeah.
like you said, some sales thing.
Yeah, he's a salesman.
So
Gotta make the money somehow.
he gets seated, and this is when you start getting narration. Like he's like he's got a voice going on in his head, and he's just kind of looking around. He's kind of getting himself kind of calmed down, and this is when he starts noticing certain aspects of the patrons of this diner seem similar to maybe what he saw from the truck, because he looks outside and sees the truck across the street that it came back, but he didn't hear it come back. So now he's freaking out, looking around, and he's because he noticed the boots earlier.
Yeah.
And he's just looking. I'm guessing he figured it's a guy, so he's looking at the bar. He's noticing the guys with the boots on and all that, and he's trying to like get the courage to go up to the guys and be like, hey, could you guys just like calm down? And you get the shot where he does that, but then it's not real. Like it was just in his head. It was him kind of going through the motions, but then he does it for real.
This is a scene. Because I'm like, dude, this dude is like going about this, and like, I don't know, I wouldn't go this way, but I'm like, it's going to happen, but like you've had this whole long build up of him thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. He's like, I'm finally going to do it. And he does it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
All I had to say was that was the most boring ass sandwich you could ever order. The guy got a cheese sandwich on rye. Like, ugh, come on,
He has to
man.
spell it out.
Then he spells it out like
R-Y-E.
she's stupid.
I think
Is there another kind?
I think they did that because Dennis Weaver is a vegetarian, and so he could only eat a cheese sandwich. But I love that it adds to the character there.
He can at least add other stuff to it.
Something. The thing that's interesting, though, I think this might be my favorite sequence in the whole movie, and it's interesting because it's not in the car or with the truck chasing him, right? When he finally steps into the diner, it's a fantastic wonder, right? We see him walk in, they're telling him where the bathroom is. You follow him to the bathroom. He's in the bathroom. That's where it starts his narration, splashes water on his face. You get what he's doing because we're in his shoes, right? It's a masterful, subjective way to get us in his shoes. He's calming down. He walks out. When he walks out, he walks to the window calm, but the truck is there. All of a sudden it's there waiting for him. So this moment of like peace where he's calming down is just eliminated. And the first cut that we get from when he walks in that diner is when he turns around and it's the crack of the pool cues, right? And all of a sudden he looks around and says, we get in our head, he's in this diner. My attempted murder is in this diner. And it's all, I don't really know if I needed the narration because I get that from his acting. You know, I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of threw me off a little bit when you get the narration. You're like, oh,
because it just starts here.
Because it's not even the fact of him describing what he's seeing. It's more of him just trying to like hype himself up to do certain things. He's like, oh, you gotta breathe. You gotta like calm down. You gotta look around and do all that. And
we see it in his performance.
I was just agreeing.
I wonder if that was a mandate. Like a studio, like a production mandate. Like we can't have dead air for that. He has to say something. I wonder if that's what that was.
Yeah, it could have been.
But that's
you get.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a TV movie. You got to
be for lowest common denominator.
You get certain scenes where there's no talking.
Yeah, it's fair.
That's what we call cinema, right? That's when we say this is cinema, that's what we mean. Again, it might be a mandate. That wouldn't surprise me. Again, we talked about it before we started. This does not, for the most part, feel like a TV movie. It feels like Spielberg's decision to shoot everything real and on location. I think the studio wanted him to be in a studio and show back projection. I personally think if they did that, it would have lessened the impact of the movie. It would have felt very plastic. Having them out, and that was part of his thing. Like I think the producers were like, if you can go out there and in 2 days get this much footage, we'll let you shoot the rest of the movie this way. And Spielberg did it because he's hungry and he's talented enough to prove that this is the way. How great is that? This is a TV movie and it feels like something that is playing on TV but has been in theaters. And the wonders and the shot design, the sound, all of that is so cinematic that it would have played much better on a big screen, I think.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. This movie, every minute of this movie, I'm just like, how is this TV? How is this? Like, this just screams big screen on it. Like, just the set pieces, just what happens in this movie. You're just like, no, I want to see this truck battling this car on the biggest screen possible.
Well, it's funny because this is what TV is now. TV is very cinematic now. It's much different from the days of the Thornbirds or anything like that. So I think just every minute this is showing up TV directors and TV shows. This is saying, you guys can be better than this. If I can do this, you guys can do this.
So he finally walks up to a guy and he just walks up to him and goes, hey, I need you to just stop. I need you to just stop it. And the guy's like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, just stop. I know what you're doing. You need to stop. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he fucking slaps the sandwich out of his hand. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, you deserve everything you're getting, buddy. Like, and the dude.
Are you standing at this part, Dan? Is this where you're standing?
It was leading up to this. Like once the brawl happens, I've already hit my payoff. Like I said, I knew it was going to happen, but like this, it's just so like it's so tangible in the scene. I got to stand up, man. Like I feel nervous, like he does. Like going up.
How would it feel being in the room with your murderer, with your potential murderer?
Yeah.
I think they really nailed. And it's funny that everybody's boots look exactly the same. It's
and it's like, and it's one of those things. Like, is that just his mind playing tricks on him to the point where everyone's wearing the same boots, or is that just how it is? Also, as an audience, this isn't the guy before he even walks up to him, because I think it wouldn't play right, because I think it's so effective that we don't see the driver at all in this movie. We see his arm, we see his legs with his boots. Like, we don't see his face. So the fact, if this was the guy, I think it would have changed the entire tone of the movie going forward. So I think as an audience, if you're smart enough, you're realizing this isn't the dude before he even gets up to him. So
I'm non-confrontational. I would sit in this restaurant until I couldn't sit in the restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
They'd have to kick me out.
So
that's what you're getting from him. That's exactly that. It's like, just how many times did you guys yell at the screen? Just sit there. Just wait.
Yeah.
Don't move.
He wanted to get involved. So I think, to be honest, I feel like when he's doing a lot of the actions that he's doing, I think it's more to kind of prove to people that he's not, that like he is a man, right? And but the thing is like, no one knows you to care. Like, who gives a shit, dude? Like, you're not with your wife.
It adds to the tension.
Yeah,
because they know that they're all in the diner. They've seen him almost crash into all their cars and hit the fence, right? So they already think he's weird. He's an outsider. When he comes in, the fact that they're staring at him is natural. Like, I would be staring at this idiot, right? It adds to that.
It's justifiable, not like Scott Speedman walking into a bar and hungry.
I need all the potatoes.
Give me the potatoes.
Give me all the potatoes.
Anti-werewolf vampire
But
potatoes.
it's like all these people know each other, or more than likely know each other, and there's a random person that's coming in, and he's not acting normal.
No,
like,
he's looking around,
but it's still from his POV, right? And it's so masterfully done that these people are acting naturally. That's what they would do. But it's adding to the situation because one of them is potentially his attempted murderer. It's just so. My gosh. How does Spielberg do this? Every 5 minutes, like, where's Spielberg's brain in all this? I don't understand. He was 24 when he shot this. How does he understand how to shoot these things and how to tell this story?
Yeah, and he was so adamant that he wanted this shot on, like, out in the world. Like, he wanted it, shot in real buildings and on real streets and stuff. It wasn't going to be in a studio. And of course, that's Jaws. That's what he wanted with Jaws. He wanted it to be filmed like on the ocean, and he wanted it to feel lived in. And I think it's good in a way because it makes it feel real as you're watching it, but also a lot of it just wasn't fun for a lot of crew and casts when you're doing certain things when you're like, can we just do this in a studio? This doesn't seem like this is going to be a fun day.
The ocean is a lot harder to control than the desert.
Right, exactly.
Where nothing happens.
So he's constantly looking at the truck to see if anyone goes in it, and he watches the guy that he got in a fight with. He gets in a different truck, and then he kind of turns away, and it's the same thing as the gas station. He turns away for a second, and in that second, he hears the truck start to drive away. And then his first thought is, I'm going to get up and sprint after the truck down the road.
Because I can run faster than this truck.
I mean, to be honest, he looked really fast. He looked like he was fucking cruising.
Yeah.
I think he was actually, I think we were. Yeah, that's it.
What's that?
He was a real
track and field.
Oh.
And he placed like 4th or something in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Like the Olympic he was trying out for the Olympics.
Damn.
I'm like,
good for him.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, he definitely looked like he was cruising.
It's Mr. Man. He keeps trying to be a man, right? That's why he goes and he threatens the guy. Like, I'm trying to step, but it doesn't work out for him. When he's running after that truck, he looks like an nincompoop. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to prove? My question for you guys, though, do you think that the truck driver was in that diner, or was he just waiting outside and playing mind games?
I think he was just sitting in the truck. I don't think he ever leaves the truck except for that shot at the gas station.
Yep. Very sinister.
Yeah.
And he's letting Mr. Man kind of drive himself crazy. Just very, wow.
Yeah.
Is that his first rodeo?
No, because the way everything is shot, you don't necessarily see in the truck. So he could be sitting in the shadow of the truck, of the cab.
Again, we're just in Mr. Man's POV, so we don't know. We're only seeing what he sees, right? So
yeah.
He needs some glasses.
Isn't he wearing glasses? Or was he wearing sunglasses? Oh,
sunglasses.
He needs some better eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he heads back on the road, and he gets flagged down by a school bus full of children. It broke down on the side of the road, and he tries
This is
to.
added.
I
is an
believe
added
so.
scene?
I didn't
Yes,
see.
that's an added
yeah,
scene.
it would make sense.
Because he says shit at one point, so I'm
Oh,
guessing.
Yes, he does.
Okay. But yeah,
Should
he
normally be poopy butts if it was on the
you little poopy butts, get back on the bus. But he can't get the bus to move. He could puts his car behind the bus to try to push it. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. What? What are we doing?
No.
And all the kids are off the bus. I'm like, why?
These kids are assholes.
Yeah, these kids like running around. He's like trying to like get them all together, and the bus driver's like, "You can't do that. You can't do
They're like
that."
sitting on his car, and then when they get back in the bus, they're making fun of him. Sorry, something happened.
Somebody died. It's Victor.
Okay. Very loud, bud.
Well, even if this is an added scene, again, how smart is this? When as a Coke delivery guy, my least favorite place to deliver to until I get into the office is the delivering to schools, especially elementary schools. Because every time I bring Coke products in, kids are like, "Can I have a free Coke? Give me a free Coke." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Do you take a class to learn this? Like, how come every kid says this?"
Yep.
But then I walk into the office and I've never seen people more happy to see me than the faculty, right? Oh, the caffeine's here. I love that. But how? Like the added scene, all the added scenes, this is what I'm talking about. I can't tell that they're additional scenes because it fits the theme of the movie. Like, I don't know how these kids in the bus, when they're just making faces at him and they're judging him, like that adds to the emasculation that he's feeling.
Mhm.
On top of him getting his car stuck under the bus, which is what this other guy forced him to do, and he gets it stuck anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't stand on my car. I don't want it dented. You know, that kind of, it's just so smart the way that it adds all to this. And again, the truck spinning around.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
this very smart.
But then he stands on his own hood, and he's like,
Dude, 'cause
"Okay,
Because he's desperate. Yeah, he's
Nope,
desperate
yep,
at that
we're
point.
done."
This-
Caring about the car.
Why do I got a feeling if this movie, like in my mind, headcanon, if you will, if this movie was ever remade, if this like hypothetically, alternate reality, they remade this movie in like the late 90s, Chris Farley's the bus driver.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just think of Billy
On the bus!
Madison. Billy Madison.
Yeah.
No yawn on the bus.
Aw.
A little bit of a problem. Anyway, that's
I miss him. He's good.
No, I mean, one of my favorite shots of this entire movie is when he is trying to push the bus and he gets out of the car and he looks down, and at the other side of the tunnel, the truck is just sitting there with its lights off. Yeah.
The headlights like eyes.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
eyes.
And
Wonderful.
that's when he goes from being like, "Hey, don't touch my car" type thing to like, "No, wait, I got to get the hell out of here. Like, I got to try to help." And so, and with his car being wedged under the bus, that's when he hops on there to try to get it loose. And then the truck slowly starts coming towards them. And as soon as he leaves, the truck pulls in behind the bus and then pushes the bus back onto the road.
Yeah.
So maybe
But
this
he,
guy's
like,
not a
pushes-
complete piece of shit.
He pushes the bus driver out of the passenger door.
So get the fuck out. This is the man's
Well,
car.
I think the truck driver doing that, I don't know if that's necessarily he's not a good I think he's just doing that to show up.
To show
Man,
up,
right.
and
Yeah.
whether there's
Establish an
that-
alibi.
Right. It's either that or it's like, I need to get this bus out of here so that I can keep fucking with you with no
Right.
witnesses.
Or later, if Mr. Man went to the police, the truck driver could, technically, if he's pulled over, be like, why is he accusing me of this stuff? I helped move the bus. I helped these kids that were stranded.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like it's setting up. Yeah, I don't know what the fact that he does that and pushes him out of the way, I think that's another dick move because he's showing up, man.
Yep.
You couldn't do it, but I could.
It's like, hey,
My
little
penis,
bitch.
my penis is literally bigger than yours.
It
I can accomplish
swings,
more.
it hits my kneecaps as I walk.
I have to fold it in half.
Oh,
I have back problems. I slouch.
Yeah. Gravity pulls me down.
My
Gotta
hip
tuck it in.
hurts. My hip hurts.
That's what all those kids get for making fun of me for having a weird walk when I was younger.
Oh God.
Jim.
He's like a tripod.
Tucked into his pant leg.
It's like a
Remind me
fucking
to show you
trick.
The seal video.
Oh. So he leaves and somehow the truck is able to catch up to him, right? He stops at a train track, and as the train's going by, the truck just the crazy thing is you never hear the truck from a distance. Like when man is sitting at this train crossing, you don't hear the truck approach. You don't hear it until he hits him, till it nudges him and then starts pushing him into the train track. So it's like, I love the fact is like you as the audience don't even know when this truck shows up. You're knowing as soon as man knows, instead of being like, oh, do you hear the truck? Oh, it's coming. Like shit's about to happen. It's like, oh shit, he's here already. So that's where
it's a nice. Sorry,
you're kind of playing it like you were mentioning. There's those subtle hints maybe into the paranormal or like some supernatural thing is going on with this truck. The fact that you're not hearing this truck from a distance and what this truck is able to do. But yeah, this is a
nice
scene.
Juxtaposition. It's a nice juxtaposition. Later, we'll get to it when the sound plays with our emotions and our the way our bodies are. That'll come back later. But I just thought we talk of this as being a precursor to Jaws, right? Where we don't hear we only hear the truck when it matters, right? Yep. But it reminds me of Jaws because the first half of Jaws, whenever we hear the shark theme, Williams' shark theme, the shark is there. Yep. That's the whole point. It's like they couldn't film the shark, so Williams kind of covered up for it. So whenever we hear it, it's literally the shark. When it's the boys that are pulling that prank, we don't hear the music, but we as an audience don't realize, I guess, that we've been played with. So we think it's the shark when the sound design is telling you it's not. We shouldn't be afraid at this moment. It's really about the panic. And then when the shark shows up in the estuary where we still don't hear the music. But what's great about that is from that moment on, as soon as they get on the boat, they still play the Jaws theme, but they purposely play it or don't play it to mess with your emotions, right? If it was the first half of the movie, we know the shark would be there before it pops up and scares the shit out of Brody, right? But it just reminded me the way that the sound design was, how later in Jaws he would use that same sound design, the same music to kind of play with us, to kind of surprise us. I think that's one of the million things I love about Jaws is just the way that music or the absence of it plays with us and our expectations. Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's, not to keep going with Jaws, but like we're talking about the pond scene where everybody is rushed out of the water because of the two boys. And then the girl sees the shark in the pond and it's the actual shark. There's no sound. There's no score. It's silent. And you just hear and you just see it dip down, and then you don't get the score until the shark attacks the guy on the boat, on the little rowboat, where it's that high string shriek sound. And then when it's rushing by Michael in that first person, that's when you start to get the score rising up, and then that's when you're like, shit, this is a shark.
I think too, when Brody realizes that Michael's in the pond, I think the music plays there.
It starts to build. It starts to build.
But it's the presence of the shark in Brody's mind there, right? I mean, it's just, oh wow. We could talk like forever about
We definitely have to revisit Jaws at some point. So yeah, he gets almost pushed onto the train tracks, but just as he is about to hit the train, he is able to like veer off and drive away and avoid the truck. He drives to another gas station that's run by a woman who has a bunch of venomous snakes and lizards and stuff.
She's so happy to see him. She's so happy to see him there. I love that woman. That's Lucille Benson. I think Spielberg, like you're talking about, Parker, he used her later for 1941.
Yes.
John Belushi lands his plane and asks her to fill it up with ethanol.
And she's like,
ethanol or whatever.
What?
Yeah. So that's fun.
But this is where it gets, I mean, it's already been intense, but this truck, like, I feel like the next scene just gets more intense and more intense because he's parked. He's asking her to fill the car. He's like, you have a phone. He goes to the phone booth.
How long do you spend the movie telling him to get to a phone? Like how many of you call the police?
Yeah.
By this point, right? We've been yelling at him to do this. And when he finally does,
the truck is down the street, parked on the side of the road, but the truck is actually somewhat in the road still. Like he's ready to turn around. And as soon as he sees man go into that phone booth and start calling the police, you see the truck slowly turn around and start driving towards him, and then it just blasts through the phone booth. Which this is a Steven Spielberg little cameo that didn't mean to be in the movie. There's a reflection of him in the glass of the phone booth. He didn't realize it even after he was editing it. He was like, "Well, can't do anything about that."
But what's great though is I don't think we notice it until maybe the third or fourth time, because when that truck comes barreling down, I don't know how they got.
I didn't notice it. I only noticed it because he mentions it in the behind the scene interview.
Right. Yeah. So then you look back, but when that truck comes out, and my kids jumped off of their asses, they were on their feet, and that shot is just so scary.
Good.
Because you can feel, you're really like, get out, like, and it comes at him so fast. But I guess the perspective of it, there was enough of a kind of a window that he could have jumped out, or if he didn't jump out in time, I think they would have been able to stop it.
And
before running into
shut the door.
This is also the first time that the truck is actually attacking him with a witness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
like
the woman's there.
shit.
Yeah, he literally he's running over all the cages with all the different animals, and she's like, my snakes. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this?
If you're thinking about it,
the animals.
The rattlesnakes are deadly. The tarantula is deadly. She's got a coyote that's tied up.
No,
that's deadly.
Tarantulas are not.
They're
deadly.
not. Tarantulas are not deadly.
No. Well, I get that, but you know what I mean.
He might think so.
They
he might think so, exactly.
They instill fear, but there's no clinically documented case of a tarantula ever killing anybody.
But that's the thing, right? These creatures
they instill fear.
These creatures are all a threat. And this guy, the truck driver, is done. He's like, no, I'm the alpha. These snakes and these spiders and they are not the alpha. I am in charge. And so he just goes completely batshit at this moment, I think. I think that's just him showing everybody up.
Main guy.
Man.
I like how he does take care of the tarantula by getting it off his leg.
He doesn't squish it.
Yeah, he doesn't squish it, and he doesn't throw it. He just kind of scoops it off.
It's wild caught.
We have tarantulas, and we've had tarantulas for a long time. And I have seen tarantulas fall from high places. And they don't do so well.
No, they're a heavier species. They have bigger abdomens, so they like snacks.
If they do fall, I have seen them crack their abdomen, and it's very painful looking.
Right.
But just think of it as you landing on your ass and
splitting your ass open.
Ugh. I don't want to ever think about that.
It's not fun.
but it's good. And
but that is what it would be like.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for standing up to the spoods. She beat
my daughter shrieked when she saw the spider.
Oh, they're so cool.
It's a very big spider. It's a very big tarantula. You wouldn't think that they would use something that large.
It's just a native species. They probably just found it somewhere, just fucking use it. It's just a random fauna pelma. They probably picked up on the side.
They're in the desert, so they're probably a lot. They probably found out on the side.
It looked like a female.
Road.
I didn't really pay really close attention. But I was gonna say, this whole scene, you say there's an alpha, and this whole thing, this woman's freaking out, and Chris Pratt comes out of nowhere, ma'am, the pack's got a new alpha.
he's clicking his.
Yeah, just holding his hands out.
We had to make Jurassic Park reference just for Darin.
He's got to do his clicker with his hand, it's me.
As you do.
Yes, his truck's full of dinosaurs.
It's not oil. It's not gas. It's fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah. Even though it's a gasoline.
Dino DNA.
Was dinosaurs.
Yes.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
But I see what you're saying though, the implications of the scene.
Yep.
Yes,
right.
And then he grew a baby dinosaur. So he goes off and hides from the truck, and he's like, and his little inner dialogue is I'm not moving for at least an hour. I want to get some sort of distance away from this guy, not knowing that. I feel he still thinks that it's just coincidence that he is being attacked by this guy. He just keeps running into him, and it's no, dude, this guy is after you. He is going out of his way to fuck with you or kill you. Ultimately, that's the goal.
Man.
Yeah.
The one thing that confused me Is man heading home at this point, or is he still on his way to the appointment? Because he said, "I'm not going to make it."
You don't know because he's changed directions. So you're you're lost with him. Like, I don't think he even knows where he is at this point.
But I'd be like,
drive.
Yeah, once you take a nap, drive the opposite way. Don't go the same way.
I know. He just hides behind this fucking hill, and then he drives in the same direction the truck went. But I do like all the different angles of his car parked behind that hill. It's like one of them is literally shot through the windows of parked cars, shooting right at his car. I was like, we didn't need this, but I like it.
Why didn't he steal a car and get a different car?
Because then it would have turned into a whole different movie.
They made that movie 3 years ago.
His man brain wouldn't understand getting in a different car.
It would work good in Gone in 60 Seconds. Hey, he's stealing his car. He's stealing my car. Yeah, too bad they didn't steal your old lady. Oh, sorry.
Well, that might be a case of us watching it going, this is what I would do in that situation, right?
Exactly.
But if a character does do what we do, then I think some of the tension is kind of, you lose some of that tension because you want, I mean, the whole point of it sounds weird, but you want to see him, the whole point of it is the tension and the drama of it, right? But yeah, the whole point of watching horror movies is that to yell at the screen and say, "Don't go in there," it kind of
do not go take a shower
by yourself.
I think,
and don't call out, Billy.
Right?
Take a shower.
And in defense of him, he's probably thinking like he's outside of still being terrified. So he's like, "This is my car. Like he's still doing the man thing probably in his mind. Like I'm gonna figure this out. Like I got my car. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna get to the thing." He doesn't need to worry about that. He just go the fuck home. But different perspective.
Hide out with a bunch of people. Stay in the diner.
What if they're one of the people? What if the diner is the killer?
All of them?
No, just the building.
Oh, the building. There's been buildings that have killed people.
What if
the spirit of the building is driving the truck?
Yeah.
It is.
So I love that the train wakes him up, but it sounds like the truck's horn.
That's what I mean about the juxtaposition. But when we didn't hear the truck, when it kind of slams into the back and tries to push him into the train,
we get a nod to that here in a minute too. Actually, another nod.
Yeah, because he starts driving down the road, back on the road again, and no joke, right around the corner, the truck's there. Like it's just driving down the road. Like, and he is just so baffled at like, I was sitting here for how long and he's only right there. Yeah, because he probably went around the corner and stopped. He's waiting for you. Like that's the whole
his life is you.
Yeah,
right now his whole existence is for you.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder if he didn't like, you know how you can coast and you don't hear the engine.
Yeah, turn it off, put it in neutral.
Well, and not necessarily turn it off because he'd have to turn it back on. But
it's already warm. You don't have to worry about the glow plugs. Pop that bitch off.
I mean, that's true. It probably would start a little quieter, but it makes you wonder if he didn't just not push the gas or anything and just coasted into wherever he needed to go.
Yeah, maybe. So, but he's like, well, I guess I gotta try to get around this guy. I gotta try to get away from this dude. I feel like I'm faster than him. I got a faster car or whatever. It's like, did you not remember the fucking thing that happened like a few hours ago where he was going like 100 miles an hour in that thing?
So the big thing is with him is, of course, us being drivers, going uphill, he has the massive advantage over that truck. The truck is going to bog like a motherfucker. You've been on the interstate before, and you're like, I've got my thing set, and there's tractor trailers always fucking tug on any kind of incline. But going downhill, all that weight, they just fucking cook. Yeah. So that's what he needed was an incline.
Yep.
Well, isn't this part when he stops up and then he pulls back or whatever? Is this the part where the old couple drives up? Are we there?
So this is when he's behind him and he won't let him pass. So he decides to pull over and get out. And because the truck, as soon as he pulls over, the truck pulls over farther up. He gets out and actually is going to walk up and try to confront the guy in the truck. Right. As he's getting towards the truck starts moving farther away, like so that he never actually is able to contact this guy. That's when he turns around, he sees a car coming, or actually, he sees a car coming, and it's these an old couple, which this old couple would show up in Close Encounters. same.
It's Amy Douglas and Alexander Lockwood are the actors.
Pretty much playing the same exact characters.
Right.
And he's like, I need your help. You know, I need to figure something. They're just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this at all. I don't want to be part of this problem. We're just going to go, honey, step on the gas. I love the wife. Step on the gas, honey. Just get out of here.
Kind of reminds me of
some random person coming up to me. I would be like, no, go, bye.
This is Back to the Future where Marty's trying to get help and the car pulls over and then he's like, can you help me? And they, no, keep driving. And they keep driving away from him. It's kind of the same thing.
No, I ain't stopping for nobody.
Something earlier that happened, I kind of alluded to, but I didn't realize it's when after he stops by the train, he starts getting chased again. Did you notice when he gets chased by the truck that the train honks its horn and then the truck honks its horn back to the train? Like, hey, buddy. Like, and then it keeps chasing this fucking dude. I don't know what the context
that's right. They're
was,
going down like the straightaway where the train is like equal with the car. Yeah, that was cool.
Hi, friend.
This is where we get kind of like a Psycho homage because the score sounds very much like Bernard Herrmann's Psycho score, like the shrieking, which also the string, like shrieks, which is funny because it's very similar to the sound that the score that's used for Maximum Overdrive when the trucks would attack someone, but it's like a different tone. Also, Spielberg mentions the fact that he wanted to make this movie like a Hitchcock film. Like he really wanted to pay homage to Hitchcock with a lot that goes on in this.
Good job. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's time for the final battle. The truck waves him to go around him. And this is where we get the slow descent up this hill. They're going up this mountain and he thinks he's in the clear because he's the faster car. He sees the truck slowly, falling back because, like, as Dan said, as he's going up, you're going up an incline, the truck's not going to be able to get that speed. So he thinks he's in the clear.
Doesn't man, before he gets in the car, we get the shots where he like steals himself. He like gets the look on his face and he sits in his car and then he grabs the glasses and puts them on his face. Like, oh yeah, this is where he's going to start fighting back. But again, this is the masterful stuff with the movie. You think he's going to finally step up to the plate, but we're not quite there yet, right?
Yeah. And as he's getting up towards the top, guess what blows? The radiator.
Chekhov's radiator hose.
Yep.
This is the second time it's brought it because he asked the lady about, hey, check those radiator hoses. I don't know if it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
And of course, she didn't have time because the truck attacked.
Maybe the truck driver is like Dr. Doolittle for vehicles. He's like a car whisperer. He's like, this bitch's hoses are gonna pop. She can't put fucking hoses on this, so I gotta just hit him while he's trying to do the thing. And
the radiator blows as he's going up, and this is when he is like, he's terrified. He's like crying behind the wheel. He's like, come on. Don't do this. No, come on. You can see
go.
Yeah. You can see the speedometer start to slowly fall.
Oh, how hard. Oh, that's terrifying.
And the truck is just inching closer and closer.
Well, you guys have had that happen to you. How scary is it when you're actually in your car and something like the timing belt on my car broke one time, and I could hear the engine, and I could all of a sudden it just overheated, and the speedometer went, and that was scary just by myself, just during the day. Like, how would it be to be chased by a serial killer in a truck?
Yeah,
it adds to that tension.
Several times, our car caught on fire. While I was by myself.
I remember that.
I ran out of gas on a major road. Nobody wanted to stop. I've had my clutch go out.
Seth's truck?
Yes.
Yep.
I've had my clutch go out. And then I've had my car overheat.
Dude, listen.
It's not fun.
Many of overheat stories.
But my car it was not overheated. It would only blow out cold air, but it said it was overheating.
Well, no.
It was the Maxima.
Well, that would be overheating, though. It needs your heater core shot.
Yeah, but it only blew out cold. I had to stop and wait for it, temperature to go back down.
Your thing wouldn't blow out warm.
True.
That's your heater core.
That's true.
Could be your water pump because it's not circulating to your heater core. Your heater core is
That was the best car, too.
But
my first car was a Honda Prelude. It was my mom's car, and it would overheat. So when we would want to go, like, they wouldn't play Pulp Fiction. Being in Utah, we're very sheltered, obviously. They wouldn't play Pulp Fiction within our county. So we had to drive 45 minutes to the next theater that was playing Pulp Fiction. So me and Johnny, obviously host Nostalgia Cast with me, will tell you we'd be driving up to this place and the car would overheat and we'd have to pull over to the side of the road and wait for it to cool down before we could continue. So we had to add a good half an hour to our travel time.
Yep. So,
but all of this is without a truck bearing down on us, right?
Yes. Well,
that's true. We've lived in a small, you haven't, not lived here, lived in a really small community. We didn't have any stoplights. We had a little tiny building for the post office when I lived in Bybee.
Oh, yeah. It's like similar to Swanton.
My first car was a manual Nissan Maxima.
Real human beings drive manuals, just so you know.
And
shut up.
I had to stop on the side of the road because my car would randomly overheat on the way to town, and it sucked. I was lucky I had my brother-in-law in the car with me the one time. Yes.
Oh.
He kept me company because I had to sit for 30 minutes before it would. And then before Bush's was where it's at, it was a it was a bank.
Before Bush's was at?
Mm-hmm.
So were you going to Sevierville?
Nope, I was coming from Sevierville.
Oh, so right before
and
the
my
curve?
clutch went out. My master cylinder went out. And I'm like trying to call my dad. I'm like, Dad, help.
But you do. So I got to tell my overheat story, just one real quick. So you remember the old green and tan truck I used to use every while to deliver pizza?
Fuck yes.
Ricky's one with the 5-speed, 306. So good engine. But this one had an overheating problem. I think the head was, which would have happened to this guy's vehicle for as long as he ran that as hot as he did. But I remember times going the back roads, because I lived in rural Nebraska, so like once you get out of town, there's nothing. Everything's miles, like done in like grid pattern for miles. You could drive and never see a house. Like, so like we would just drive until like you get warm, but you get near a creek and you just get water. Just take a butt, get water right out of the creek. Terrible for your cooling system, but you need something to cool you off and get you ready to go. Had to do that a lot.
The probe blowing
water pump didn't work.
But that blew water in my face.
It was rude.
I had a 2000 Jeep Cherokee that had a blown head gasket, and so there was a moment where I literally blew, and then I'm literally sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store with it in park, and it's literally revving at like 4,500 RPM, and I don't even have my foot on the fucking pedal.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
been there. I understand.
What was the green car you had? It was you and your mom had the same green.
I had the Shadow. She had a Sundance. I got the Sundance later too.
My wife had a Sundance.
I'm pretty sure I drove the Sundance.
I've had 2 or 3 of them.
My wife loved it.
And
I liked them.
We were in the middle of a snowstorm, and they were sending everybody home, but I could not get the car to defrost. And I'm out there like scraping ice off the windshield.
Were you at Shopko?
Yes. And I had a friend that was out helping me trying to scrape the window because I couldn't get.
Warm it with your body heat. Oh, I remember.
There's been plenty of
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yes, they fucking do.
I've had so many car malfunctions, even before him.
Pulling drive shafts out in the middle of the road, like you don't need this one.
Helping my dad.
Isn't it cool though that the? Sorry, go ahead, Angela. I didn't mean to.
Helping my dad drop the gas tank on a vehicle. I've helped my dad do so many things. Bleed brakes.
Yeah. Have you did the one where you pulled the rear drive shaft out of a drive because the U-joint goes bad, but you can drive home with just the front differential?
We didn't get that far. No, but
I have not had to deal with that.
The Honda.
So if you didn't know this, here's a tip for you. If you find yourself in a situation where maybe your rear end, if you're a 4-wheel drive vehicle, older one, like a traditional, not all-wheel drive, if your rear differential goes out or your rear U-joint or something, drive shaft goes bad, you can actually pull your drive shaft out, lock it in 4-wheel drive, and it'll be a front-wheel drive vehicle.
See, there's your tip. He can't.
There it is.
Might not be able to do cleaning tips.
It was going to be a Dan's cleaning tip. I had a note here, but you know what? That's good enough. That's good enough.
Still do car tips.
That's good enough. No,
carry on.
But it's cool that these are all situations that we've been in that the
100%.
movie is giving us. But then it adds
Yeah.
the extra tension by having this monster serial killer guy like follow after them. Parker, did you want to mention the license plates or anything? You meant you.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention it. Yeah, the fact. So I guess we'll mention it now. So yeah, he has all the license plates on the front of his truck, and according to Spielberg, they are license plates from other vehicles that he has run off the road, like what he has done to what he is doing to. Yeah, he's a serial killer, pretty much.
Yeah.
And those are his trophies. Yeah.
He doesn't get everybody; he targets.
Yep.
No, just trophies.
Well, so I meant like he helped the bus driver. He's not just like taking everybody out on the road.
True.
Yeah, he's fishing for people to do exactly what man did.
Right.
Yeah,
I think Spielberg says these are notches in his Colt 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I have one in there. I know exactly. Anyway, but no, like that's he clearly likes to play with his victims. Like that's his joy.
Yeah.
This is the demasculating thing you're talking about. This is what he likes to do. He's got to find the right person for it.
Yeah, because he's having fun with it.
Because he probably could have killed him a long time ago.
Oh
yeah.
But the fact is, but the fact is he's just, pushing him along, knowing exactly what he's going to do.
Yep. A whole tank of gas.
You get the whole moment though, where this is before man is climbing the mountain and he blows the radiator. Is he sees a car in the distance? It looks like a police car, but it's not a police car. It's just a guy, and the dude gets almost hit.
It's an exterminator.
Yep, and he drives by. You get him when he hits the
name. Did you notice the name on the pest control truck? It's Greb Leaps, which is
Spielberg backwards. Yep.
You bastard, Spielberg.
All I could think of is Cook's,
clever son of a bitch.
Cook's Pest Control.
Yep.
But that was way later.
He also hits those tumbleweeds, which is what causes some of the damage to his car as well. Like those big ass tumbleweeds that are in the middle of the road.
Just tumbling.
Big.
But yeah, we're back to the mountain and he's climbing up. Smoke is filling up. He's freaking out. He's pretty much in tears. Why is he bleeding?
Oh, it's when he. Yeah, go ahead.
He's too close to the steering wheel.
No, it's one of.
He literally is. He's like this close to the steering wheel.
Well, it's like an old. He was being chased. It was prior to the hill thing.
Oh, okay.
Prior to the hill thing. He came off and like flew into some. It's remember when he was driving and the road was blocked off and he had to take the detour.
Yeah.
It was when he came back off the detour onto the main road really sharply and flew into those barricades. I think he hit his head on something and kept
going. Okay. Because I must have looked away for a second, or I was typing up something on my notes. And I look up and he's bleeding from the mouth. I'm like, what the fuck did he do? Like, I don't remember him getting hit by the truck. But yeah, I do remember he was hitting like those posts, right? That were on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. So he, I love how it shows the radiator blowing, the smoke, billowing in. You see all of the gauges just start falling, like the speedometer falls. You see but then the temperature for the car starts to rise up into the red, and I like how it goes to every individual gauge on the dash, show you what's going on.
And you can tell it's Spielberg with the camera getting those shots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You could feel him doing that. Yeah.
And
nerd.
he gets to the top of the hill, and so he decides, I'm going to put it in neutral and just ride this thing down.
Coast it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's when he's able to get to the bottom of the hill, and then he like turns off, and then as the truck is coming down, he's able to get the car started, like right before
he smashes into the wall.
Yeah,
part of the canyon or whatever.
Yeah,
he's not paying attention.
But he is able to back out, right? And the truck is, you see the truck come around that corner, and then he is like right as the truck is about to hit him, he's able to start the car, and then this is where he makes his final descent up that hill. Yeah. And he gets to the top, and we get the like wind chimes in the score, like to kind of like it's kind of like an indication, like this is it. This is the final face-off between these two. And we get pretty much chicken, where he literally gets the car turned around. He stuffs his suitcase onto the gas pedal, and he jumps out, pretty much last second, and the truck is just fucking determined to hit him. But I don't also, do you think the truck driver knows there's a cliff on the other side?
I don't think he could see it through the flames, because even if you see from the cockpit,
That's
like
what
it's kind
blinds
of
him.
really
Because it shows him shifting, like he is shifting to go faster. So clearly either he doesn't care, or he just doesn't
I think
know.
he thought he got him.
Yeah.
Either that or he's at the point where he's done.
Yeah, I've had
This is
enough of
his
this shit.
last
This is where I'm going to
hurrah.
take him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the truck, because the truck's taller than he is, and he jumps out at the last minute.
Mhm.
He may not have seen him jump out from his perspective, because he's on the opposite side of the vehicle
Right. Yeah.
when he jumps out. So he must have, I got him. I'm going to fucking ram this dude, and maybe not realize how close the edge of the, again, cliff was. Because that's what I assume, because when he gets to the edge, he brakes and fucking tries to stop, but you can do that.
He
can
may
run it.
not.
And we get one of the, I mean, if you've seen this movie before, this is probably one of the most iconic shot of the
Wow.
entire thing. And is when the truck smashes through, I love how it shows him, it shows in the truck of him shifting, and then kind of the last second, him determining, oh shit, there's a cliff here. So Carrie Lofton literally had to jump out of this truck, because he literally drove this truck off the cliff, but he jumped out right before it goes off. Because one shot. They only had one truck to do this with, and it was fucking beautiful. And I
think
guess
Lofton tried to close the door too. I think he says, I tried to close it, but I couldn't make it.
He tried to close the door and it failed, and that's why it stayed open.
That's fine.
But
and what
it doesn't
nobody cares.
matter.
And no one cares. This shot is fucking amazing.
Didn't they use like 7 camera setups, because he only had the one truck?
Yes.
And it was the one guy that filmed it going all the way down. That's the shot that
it's beautiful. And we're gonna go back to
So that was the one that caught the iconic moment.
Yep. And we get the sound when he hits the car off of the cliff is the same sound that we get when the shark blows up at the end of Jaws.
It roars.
Which is the dinosaur roar, which is from, do you know what movie it's from, Dan?
It's from hold on, it's not The Land Unknown. Is it Unknown Continent?
I'm not 100% sure. We haven't covered it on the Monster Zone. I know that.
Oh no, it's in the trivia, and I had it pulled up, and I'm.
Isn't it the one with the big floppy dinosaur head? Well, while she's looking that up, I just want to point this out, because this is important to me. The Valiant that they used in this is actually. You good? Okay, sorry, ding dong. The Valiant they used in this is actually the base model of my favorite old car of all time, which was the Duster. So, like the Mustang was based on the Falcon, and the Camaro was based on the Nova, so on and so forth. They made a sportier version of the Valiant, which was the Duster, which was just a 2-door with a fancy roofline. And the 71 Duster 340 is my favorite old car of all time. I used to have a 71 white one, 318, but it wasn't a 340. It was just, I love those cars. They're fucking sweet. Made me want one. Watch this, man. I'm fucking, because the dash gauge, the gauge cluster is the same. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, God, it's got that shitty wood grain on. Like, it's not real wood grain, but like that wood grain insert, a big ass gauge.
You just didn't get when I said cluster duster.
It is cluster duster.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're like,
Plymouth Duster. They had the Plymouth Duster, then there was the special edition Gold Duster, and then there was the lightweight Feather Duster, and they're all real. These are all real cars. I shit you not.
It's amazing.
You say it, Dan, I'll believe it. Yeah.
So I can't find it yet, but it does say that Steven Spielberg stated he approached the movie in the manner of a Toho movie.
Yes.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That he brought Koji into it, since we are.
Yes.
Yeah, Spielberg has mentioned many times that he is a massive Godzilla fan.
Now.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
I mean, he also made. I mean, Jurassic Park was ultimately made like a Toho film, if you think about it. So,
and a King Kong movie, right?
Right. So, yeah, what I love about this shot is that Spielberg, like, so it's the slow motion of the truck, going down this mountainside, and the shot that he is most proud of, that he's amazed that was even captured, was there's the billowing smoke and dust, and the trailer of the truck, like, kind of coming out of the dust. Yeah. He would literally do that same shot with when the shark's body is floating to the bottom, the fin coming out of the red cloud. Which
they were literally
awesome.
spiritual cousins.
Yes.
Right.
And they were trying to get him to make the truck explode, and he fought against that.
Right.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Because it would have made it. What was the reason for it? I read that, but
They just wanted to make it explode because they thought that would make it a better scene.
spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, things don't always need to explode.
No, because I love
like that.
No, it doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that
I love the after where it shows the aftermath, right? It shows the truck and the car just in shambles, and you don't see the driver, but you just see blood dripping.
Right.
And you see his little like dash fan still going and stuff like that. Those are cool shots.
Yep. But that shot of the truck, I would call that like mythic. Like it's just it's so gorgeous. And again, this is a fucking TV movie. How that is not what I expect from TV, especially in 71, right? It's like, whoa, that's gorgeous. And you can feel the weight and it's a real truck. Yeah. Like if they did it today with special effects, it would feel plastic. It wouldn't feel like this.
And I've seen some other Stephen King's Red. I think it's Red, where they're in the house.
Rose Red.
Rose Red. That does not seem like a TV movie, and it was. So to see something that came out in 1970s, to see something like that coming from Stephen King is my favorite author. Mm-hmm. To see that coming from something in the 70s, it's like, ooh. So it can be done, because I saw Rose Red before I saw Duel.
Yeah, just have to apply yourself.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the movie ends with our protagonist sitting on the top of the hill, kind of
cheering, right?
Yeah, he's cheering, but he's also kind of going, "What the fuck just happened to me for the last few hours?"
Can I ask you guys, one of the criticisms of the movie is they felt like the ending is too abrupt, like the ending didn't live up to the rest. And my kid said that too. It was like, that's how it ends. And I'm like, well, he's processing. He just, first of all, he's gonna die, right? I mean, he's in the middle of nowhere, right, in the desert that can kill you, and he's got no car, he's got no water. Like, what is he gonna? And he's just processing everything that's happened, right? He doesn't. I think the ending is it. How else would you end it? Like, you're gonna show him back in civil. Why do you need the extra shit that doesn't matter? You're just showing him process it is enough for an ending. I think it's beautifully. That's how it needs to end in my mind.
Well, it doesn't and here's my other question is, what is there to show to end? Mm-hmm. The movie starts with him leaving his driveway.
Yeah.
And we get a small snippet of what's going on between his wife and where he's going. That's it. There's no, what conclusion do you want? And this does end like a lot of the monster movies that we cover on the Monster Zone. The monster is dead, and nobody embraces and takes a woman to dinner. The end. Like that's just how these movies
12 hours after they've met, not even.
And that's just, I don't see the point.
I have The Village is one of my big pet peeves on what happened, because I am one of those, I need to know what happens after the conclusion. This is not one of those.
You did feel like you were satisfied.
I was very satisfied. I didn't need to know if somebody survived. He survived.
What happened to the account? Did he hold the account?
But I didn't know if
did he make it home by 6?
I didn't need to know if the cure was found for something, or did the person that you were doing this for survived? Because he was doing this for himself, not a whole village of people that are dying.
Did his mother enjoy the dinner she was coming over for?
He didn't have a fucking mom. She died.
No, they talk about that. That's who's coming over for dinner.
I know.
Parker, it's like you said, the only people that matter in this movie are man and the driver. It doesn't, nobody else plays into it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
My thing with the ending, I think it's so good because the whole movie's been about being a man. It's about like what it takes to be masculine. What, all the do you wear the pants in your family? Like, can you pump your own gas? Like, can you pass a truck? Yeah, can you play me, right? But at the end, man has proved himself, but
He wears
what does
shorts,
it matter?
half pants.
What does it matter though at the end? Because he's proven that he's a man, but he's alone in the desert. He's going to die. Like, what has it done? Like, it hasn't done. I think that's what resonates for you. The other thing too is I've been watching a lot of reaction videos lately where people watch movies for the first time. I watched one on The Fugitive today. And the way that The Fugitive ends, they put Harrison Ford in the car and then Tommy Lee Jones, and then they share that thing where he's like, I know you're innocent, takes the handcuffs off, and he's like, I thought you didn't care. I don't, but don't tell him. And then they drive off. The people watching were like, that's how it ends? I need a scene where he goes back to court and they prove him innocent. And I'm like, why? That's for the characters in the movie. You know he's innocent. You know that Tommy Lee Jones.
Why do I need to see that?
How you end
Yes.
it. It's
If you
not
have come
for
to that conclusion, you don't need.
Yeah, why do you need the superfluous stuff? Like, I don't need to see man back home enjoying a dinner with his wife and, saying I did it. Like, I'm wearing the pants. Like, you don't need that. It's superfluous. I just don't understand why people are just critiquing.
Just ends with him at home eating steak, cuts the next day, punches his neighbor in the face. The end. Is that what you wanted, people?
I mean,
or punches his wife.
We
both of them. Just
speaking of old monster movies, like movies we've covered on the Monster Zone, the fact that like these movies will go, they run for 70, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Talking about like how they're going to stop the monster. And then there's weird love stories no one gives a shit about. But then when they defeat the monster, it just ends. It's like,
that's it.
Creature defeated, the end. And that's kind of, and Jaws is the same way. Fucking Brody blows up the shark. Hooper shows back up. They fucking go away and it's over.
Yes, I don't need to know if you end up in bed together at the end of the movie.
Yeah, like we didn't need to see the. I'm so glad that Hooper didn't have the affair with Mrs. Brody. It's so fucking weird.
Oh my God.
Hooper steers the boat, Chief.
My whole thing with the Village, though, is I want to know if they made it back with the cure.
Which one?
The Village.
The Village. Oh,
because you don't know.
I haven't
they
seen
find
that movie
it,
so
but hey,
long.
do they make it back?
But the problem is if you can't build up a plot point and not have a conclusion to it. That's a problem.
I'm like, did they make it back? That's all I want to know.
But don't
Just
ask
tell
for a
me yes or
conclusion to a
no.
plot point that didn't exist.
Well, that's for another day when we talk about The Village.
Shoot, I'll get so mad at that
I
one.
cannot wait for that.
The movie is so
Sauce and
sparse. It's lean and mean. I think critics complaining if they added like a padded ending, the critics would have also complained about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, why you have this lean and mean movie? Why do we need? They're just. I think critics are paid by the complaint. Maybe I don't know. Like it feels like they need to get that last shot in. It's like why? Like why complain about something just so you complain about that when you get it? It's like, yeah, you don't need that. This is exactly how the movie needs to end, and it does.
So I always went by Siskel and Ebert when they were both doing
clown shoes.
No, when they were both doing movie reviews.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you get one that doesn't agree with the other, and you're like, why? Why? I want to know why you made that conclusion to your movie when you've got another person that has, this is what everybody's thinking.
Yeah, because they're both watching it in two different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of their reviews make me angry because they're just so idiotic sometimes. But
yeah.
Especially when you watch their Muppet review.
Oh, no.
If you've ever seen that, and I'm like,
if anyone says anything negative about the Muppets,
yelled.
Get fucked.
Oh my gosh, I yelled at that one several times.
Some final notes on this one. There was a spin-off sequel in 2005 called Throttle, which wasn't about the same character, but there was a scene in the movie that did have man played by a different actor driving the red Plymouth Valiant that he somehow pulled from the wreckage.
Is it better now?
I don't know. I guess in 2015 they tried to kickstart a campaign to finance a documentary about the making of this movie. It was called The Devil on Wheels, and I'm not sure if it's out, but as of 2023 I guess it's still listed as post-production. It was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Movie Made for TV in 1972. And I forgot to mention the fact that Richard Matheson wrote this because of an experience he had on the day that JFK was assassinated.
Right.
That's the first thing I read about it.
So yeah, that's it. That is Duel from 1971.
All right, Paul. So I think it's time we, made a trailer.
Do we have to?
Like, people keep asking, so we're gonna deliver.
Well, what are we supposed to do in this damn trailer?
We're just gonna talk about shit we do here. We theme our months, right? Like, what do we?
I mean, I know we've done stuff like musicals and animation month and creature features, all sorts of stuff, but is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's something kind of like that. That I'm probably gonna sit there and tell people, we're on all social medias. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's all under Flicks and Friends podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. If they're not tired of hearing that by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll work. Should we press record?
Yeah, let's press record right now.
Now it's time to go around the room and see what you all had to say about this movie. We'll start with our guest, Darin. What do you think about this?
I'll try not to go on for like 20 minutes, but this isn't Jaws, this isn't Raiders, this isn't E.T., you know what I mean? But I think when you watch a director's filmography, I think it's important. I always say that you start with how they started, start with their first movie, and then you see how they progress over time, right? I think Duel is a great precursor to what we'll get from Spielberg, but it's still masterful, if that makes any sense. You can see exactly what he will use throughout his career. Yeah, he had to do this to prove something, right? He had to shoot this in 10 days. He got it done in 12, whatever. But what I love about early Spielberg especially is he's hungry. He's hungry to get his voice out there, right? And to make a movie. Like all the 70s brats, the movies brats of the 70s, what I love about them is they're not doing what nostalgia movies do now, what legacy movies do now, where they're just basically taking stuff that we know and just regurgitating it the same. There's no difference. It's like you see that new Jurassic World trailer where it has the shot of the raptors with the foot tapping, and then that's the whole point of that, is to point at it and go, oh, that's from the first one. But I get angry because I'm like, people put actual heart and thought into that original shot, and it's so good because it gives those raptors such personality. When you do it again, there's none of that love, there's none of that craft. You're just doing it to get us to point at the screen, and I don't think that's cool. I don't like point and go, oh, isn't that nice? It's like you're just copying something that somebody had already done and put all their heart and soul into it. What we're getting now is lifeless, right? When you look at Duel, yeah, it's a precursor to Jaws, but this movie still has, within 10 minutes, it still has the goods that Spielberg has all the way through. Yeah, he's hungry, but he's proving why he's such a masterful filmmaker. It boggles my mind that he can shoot this in 10 days, that he can ramp up the tension so much, ramp up the suspense, and just do it very sparsely. Again, I say it's not up to the snuff of the others, but there's not really as much to pull out of it and to kind of study. Like Jaws, you can look at as a study of masculinity, right? It's the same thing. You have Quint and Hooper having that battle on the boat where Quint crushes his beer can, and then kind of Hooper kind of makes fun of him by crushing his styrofoam cup. You have them comparing their scars, and then all Brody can do is look down at his appendix scar. Like that's all that he's got. He can't compete. So it's again, that feeds into the whole character. I hope I'm making sense here. I just think that Duel is it's not quite top tier Spielberg, but it shows you it's got everything in it that you love about him, right? It shows his master about how to do shots, how he would do. I love his story about how, because he needed to do it quick, he would film the car from one angle and film the truck from one angle, get maybe 5 shots, and then he would shoot it from the other side, so you'd get the other side of the road, doing the same exact stretch of road, and it would look completely different, and he could just use that same footage like over and over again, because you wouldn't, you know what I mean? It's just so smart the way they did that. And like the kids loved it. They were just into it and squealing, and when it was over, they let it, like I said, they let it a big sigh of relief and was like, I think I need to go get some therapy now because I'm so tense. Right. And I just think this movie is important because you can see what Spielberg is going to use these skills and hone them and use them in bigger blockbusters. But again, like we've talked about, he's taking the TV format and he's making it cinematic. He's making it mean something. There's a reason why this is called the greatest TV, which sounds like an insult, right? Calling it the greatest TV movie of all time. But literally, you look at it, this is not TV. This is cinema. This is movies. and it's done on a small screen. If Spielberg can do this, how come nobody else can do this? So he's showing up everybody else. I just think that this is just a lean, mean, tight monster of a movie, and it's great. It's a great suspense kind of example to show people how this is done.
All right. Well said. Couldn't say it any better myself. Angela,
Yes.
what did you think of Duel?
I'm pretty sure this is our second time watch. Well, my second time.
Sorry, yeah,
watching
I've completely got into the history of the movie and completely forgot to ask everybody's
Hey,
history on it.
That is perfectly fine.
That's all right.
I loved this movie both times we've watched it. Yes, I did fall asleep during this one, but
You were tired.
It wasn't for
You
much.
wake up at 4. Yeah.
It
And you
wasn't.
have seen it before.
It wasn't for much. I still knew what was going on from the time I fell asleep till the time I woke up. I hate that this was a made-for-TV movie, just because, there's a lot of those that don't get that good rap from being a TV movie. There's a lot of little details that were in this that I thoroughly enjoyed. Just the fact that they kept up with some of those throughout the whole movie. Especially with, man being not a man until the end.
You think he was named
He's
that
still-
for that specific reason?
For that, yes, for that
Probably.
reason. And I like those little details that they put in, especially with the vehicles and the, just everything that happens. And I would watch this again in a heartbeat. Loved it.
It's only
Start
90
to
minutes.
finish.
Yeah.
Literally, the fact that they had to put in extra scenes to make it an actual movie, I loved it because it felt like it went with the movie. It wasn't one of those that, you find some of those TV movies that are like, yeah, I could have done without that. And the fact that there was certain scenes that there was no speaking,
Yes.
that's a big thing for me. It's like, I need to know what's going on. Like, especially if I'm not interested in what's going on and my brain is easily like out in left field. That I'm one of those that I can easily get just lost. And I was not lost during the whole movie. It was great.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually. Where I was like, the good thing about this, you get like a small exposition about what's happening. It's like it's a guy in his car against a dude in a truck.
Mhm.
That's the movie. You get some set pieces, some good set pieces, not a bunch, but it's generally the guy on the road. And like she said, I'm not going to say any more than what everybody else did here. Is I've seen it just a handful of times myself. I always heard about this movie growing up. So when I bought the Blu-ray, I think was the first time I watched it. But we grew up watching a bunch of car movies, so it's a great 70s car chase flick. It's just a really great movie. It is, and I don't think enough people have probably seen it. I don't know how many podcasts have covered it, but the bar scene or the scene in the diner still gets me. It's expertly shot, expertly written. Just it's all great. Nobody needs you could probably do most of this movie with no dialogue, and you'd still be there.
And more of the fact that I didn't know what this movie was called. And we started watching it, and I was like, we've watched this before, haven't we? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I remember this movie.
Plus, I got to see all the old cars when he's driving around.
Every time we watch a movie,
Do it.
he is pointing a car out. I know what
It's
that
a
is.
sickness.
He may not know what
No,
the color
I love
is, but he knows
Yes.
what the make and model is.
I can generally know what car it is, but I'm bad with colors. Just terrible with colors. I can look at a car, turn away. And my dad, what color was that? I'm like, fuck, I don't remember. Like it was blue. He's like, no, it was silver. I was like, fuck.
It's like we got in a car wreck several months ago, and I knew what the color of the vehicle was, and he didn't.
They just hit us. I don't know. What do you want from me?
We need to know that.
Anyway, go ahead, Parker.
Yeah, this movie rules. I loved every minute of it because it's one of those movies that, knowing it is Spielberg's first movie and being such a massive fan of Spielberg's work and seeing bits and pieces of this movie that he would later incorporate into not just Jaws, but into a lot of his films, like just the way he would shoot certain scenes or shoot, just like inanimate objects that are just kind of just chilling there. Like and that's the thing is he loves paying homage to his own movies in some way, shape, or form. And this felt like a Spielberg movie from beginning to end. This definitely is one of those, like, it makes me want to watch Jaws immediately after I'm done with this, because it is as close to Jaws as any of his movies that he's ever made. It's just a good time. It really is. And it's tense. Everything about it is just brilliantly done. And the fact that it was a TV movie is just, it'll baffle me forever. Like, as I, we've covered a few of his movies on the show throughout the years. And this is one of those movies that you're like, why don't people talk about this? Like, no one talks about this movie. You need to experience this movie. And to be honest, I would love to see this on the big screen.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
And if you want to buy it,
it's very cheap. It's very cheap. It is.
DVDs, like, this is on Amazon. I just looked. DVDs like $5. Blu-ray is like $8-9, and the 4K is like $18.
Yeah.
If you paid $40 for this, it would still be worth the money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you can still.
All right. Well, that is it for our thoughts on Duel. Now it's time to go over to social media, which we didn't get a lot of comments because I feel not a lot of people have either seen this or really have a history with this movie, which is kind of, it's sad.
That's shit. Yeah.
Fix
that, people.
Yeah, seriously.
Fix it, bitches.
I went over to a Discord and old man Brad just went, it's like Jaws with a truck. And I went, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a high compliment.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish more movies would be Jaws.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
More movies would be Jaws with a truck.
Oh, we did get one over on Instagram from Big Bad Wolf 884 who says, underrated film. Much like Halloween 1978, it's very simple. I first saw this on DVD with my mom during my high school years. My favorite shot in the film is when the truck waits under the tunnel with the headlights on. Absolute chills.
Okay.
Absolute chills is an understatement. That is one of the best shots of the entire movie. Other than the ending. Other than that end shot of the truck going over the cliff. The shot of the truck at the end of the tunnel with its just kind of looking like the truck is a monster in this movie. It is not being controlled by a human being. At least it doesn't feel that way for the majority. So
I think each of us could do a top 30 favorite shots from this movie.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, the fact that they got that over the cliff in one go, I mean, they had to, but it was perfect in that one shot.
Well, that is it for 1971's Duel. Next week is a special episode. It is episode 200 of
Smack dab in your second season.
Yes.
Well, we're in number 3. We're in season 3 now. Oh, yes, we are. We finally did it. The Dissect That Film Podcast has hit 200 episodes, and we all wanted to cover a movie that we collectively enjoy, and it's a movie and a genre that we really don't cover a lot on the show for certain reasons, but we all came to a conclusion. And next week for episode 200, we are going to be talking about the 1996 comedy Kingpin, starring Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, and Vanessa Angel.
Oh,
I know that. Goodness. Listen,
you're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels.
we don't have a cow.
Listen, Ish. I'm not here to teach you everything there is to know about everything. I'm here to teach you about bowling. Well, I think I can figure some things out myself as he shits at a urinal.
That joke will come back next week for next episode.
I say that quote all the fucking time.
But yeah, we do not cover a lot of comedies on the show because as most shows that do cover a comedy, it usually turns into just quoting the movie. And you know what? It's episode 200. I don't give a shit if we just quote the movie the whole fucking time. It's going to be a great time. This is a comedy I watched.
Guys.
Thank you very much. It shocks me every day when I look at what number we're on and I type it into my computer so I keep track of all the episodes.
I'm glad you do, because I certainly don't.
We have created way more than 200 episodes as a collective, but for the Dissect the Film podcast, which is the OG show, yeah, this is going to be 200. Yeah, so looking forward to talking about Kingpin next week. And and we got some other things going on. I'm not going to talk about what we got going on after that because there's things could be changing and I don't want to, put the cart before the horse, as they would say.
Yes.
All right, now it's time to do the final end of show fun, where our guests
The rigmarole.
Darin, thank you so much for being here. It's always an honor to have you on. This is what, the like 4th or 5th time you've been on the show now?
Not enough.
You're going to have your own section now on the YouTube, so people can actually go to our YouTube channel and go to a playlist. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the Lundberg Files.
Oh,
it's going to be all the episodes.
5 episodes, 70 hours.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just between 2 episodes.
Pretty much.
Nice.
We'll have it back in July for
Jesus Christ.
Resurrection or Rebirth, whatever. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Imagine if it was Jurassic Park Resurrection.
He rolls his eyes. He's like, no.
Why not? At this point, how much worse could it get? Is Paul Rudd going to show up? Is it going to have something to do with like the Cult of Thorns? I don't know. What do you want?
If it's worse than Dominion, I will be very surprised. Me too.
So Jurassic Park Dominion has been coming up on Hulu for me because you watch this, and I'm like, damn it, Darin.
Dude, if you want to watch a movie about giant grasshoppers, go watch the beginning of the end. Not a very good movie, but it's better than Dominion.
It's a Burt I. Gordon classic.
Yep.
Well, again, thank you for again, Spielberg is my favorite director. Parker, I'm pretty sure, is your favorite director. It's like, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another. West Side Story. I talked about that for Close Watch with my partner, Robert. So I did talk about Spielberg there, but like, I'll always talk about how much this filmmaker means to me and how he's inside my head like no other filmmaker. So I'm especially Duel, that people don't talk about. I love that we were able to talk about this. And hopefully get people to get off their asses and watch this thing. So
yes,
I appreciate it.
So where can people find you, and what do you got going on over on Nostalgia Cast and Back to Bluey?
Well, I have to look. I hate this. I have to look it up because the Blue Sky handle is so long. It's hard to get a beat on it. Let's see. I am at dwlundberg.bsky.social. You can find me over there, or you can find me on Twitter at dwlundberg. Nostalgia Cast, Back to Bluey, still going. Back to Bluey just started speaking of Robert, we just started our 3rd season, released our 2nd episode last week. And then Nostalgia Cast, we decided to revisit 90s movies because we had so much fun during our 90s Palooza season. The movies that shaped us. And I wanted to figure out a new way to talk about 90s movies. So we've organized it as a bucket list season. Johnny and I have each picked 2 movies from each year, from 90 to 99. And so we're just going through one year at a time, talking about each of those. So we're having, again, we're doing another 90s season. We're having a great time over there. So please come visit us and enjoy us and listen to Parker on Back to Bluey. Listen to Dan and Angela on Nostalgia Cast. We had you guys both on for our shows and had a great time with you.
Yes, I talked about Bluey, and it was one of my favorite guest spots because I love that fucking show so much.
you did beautiful, even though you didn't think you would. You did great.
Yeah, I gotta set the bar low for myself when I go on other shows. So all of the links for Nostalgia Cast and Back to Bluey and everything Darin is doing will be in the description of the video or in the show notes. So make sure to click those links and definitely check out Darin's work, because very insightful stuff. And maybe you could pick a fight with him over on Twitter. I don't know.
Please come at me. Come at me, bro.
This is like he fights back.
Dan, I always forget to do this. What do you got going on over at Manoworm?
Oh, Manoworm is for those that don't know, Manoworm Magic the Gathering cast. And I have all these stacks of cards literally right in front of me, because I just did last week, I did a pre-release for Tarkir Dragonstorm, which was the newest set. It was just this past Friday. It was a really good time, all the way up till this has been my newest episode. What is this? We're recording this on the 8th of April, and all the way up to my last match for the night, my opponent just never came back.
Oh,
he stepped outside and just never came the fuck back.
Yep, he said he had no chance. Right,
that was last week. Oh
no, they're in the floor now.
Yep. And I had a good run of opening cards, so we just went on there. We covered news. A big set just came out. Bunch of news. It's Magic. It's a news show. I talk about what I do.
It's on my Spotify right here.
Yeah, thank you. There you go. You should. That's what it's on. It's on Spotify. It's only on Spotify because I'm too lazy to put it anywhere else.
All right. Well, we'll have to get that changed at some point.
I opened an $80 card.
Yeah, she opened an $80 card.
Wow.
No, The week prior opened a $40 card. She opened an $80 card. I opened a $60 card.
Sweet.
He tells me I'm his
Money baby.
I guess I got to go buy some magic cards just to
everything.
sell them.
that I'm his good luck.
As
charm.
long as you get the chase cards, then yes. If not, you'll just end up with bloat.
Oh.
Bloat.
Oh yeah, we have to
But I
do
love
that.
it.
That's okay. I have a nephew who would probably take them, not knowing what to do with them, but he'd be like, "Oh," I'd be like, "Here, I got cards for you," and he doesn't give a shit what they are.
How old is he?
8.
We can learn him.
Some of them are really pretty.
Ridley plays. We can learn him.
Yeah.
We can learn you
Someday, maybe.
Carry on.
Yeah, the last thing, I mean, I got a couple things. We have a monster show called The Monster Zone, where once a month we spin a wheel and we talk about a monster movie. We have a new co-host, Mikey Ward, who has joined us over the last couple months to talk about monster movies. This month, which this is going to be out in April, we have a re-release of The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms from 1953. And then the second episode at the end of the month will be 1959's The Alligator People, starring Lon Chaney.
Yep.
So very excited. It's very excited for those. Make sure, yeah, seriously, the Monster Zone is a lot of fun, and we really hope more people find that show out and give it a go, because we have a blast doing it. We are going to be participating in Livestream for the Cure once again.
Kind of a big deal.
And
Sorry.
just showed off her sweet shirt.
I'm kind of a big deal. Can't help it.
It's a pickle.
I'm a big deal.
Cool. Do you even eat? You don't even like the pickles there.
I love the pickles.
Not the pickle room.
No.
There is a
'cause it
pickle
smells.
chamber.
Pickle chamber. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Only when it's the hot and spicy.
Back to what I was saying. We are participating once again in the Livestream for the Cure, which is a wonderful 2-day event that helps raise money for cancer research. It is in I think it's going to be its 9th year, and this is going to be our 3rd year doing it. It goes from May 16th, 4 p.m. to midnight, and then May 17th from 8 a.m. to midnight. And we are going to be on Saturday, May 17th at noon. So if you want to see us do a segment on Livestream for the Cure, that's when we'll be doing our segment. But seriously, check out that 2-day event and help raise some money for cancer research. It's a really awesome event. A lot of amazing content creators and podcasters and all that really get together and do some really awesome stuff. So links for that will be down in the description as well. And there was probably an ad that played earlier in the episode that you guys will hear. So yeah, and finding us on all the social medias, you know where to find us. We're at Dissect That Film or Dissect That Film Pod and all the social medias. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Dissect That Film. For $1, you can get early access to the uncut versions of the episodes. So all of the pre-show, all of the fuck-ups that happen during the show that usually get cut out, it all stays in for those patrons, just for $1. And we have a Discord. And if you want to join that Discord, you got to join the Patreon. But you can join at the free tier to gain access to the Discord. So you don't even have to pay to get into our Patreon to be part of the Discord. Or if you ever become a guest on the podcast, then you become a part of the Discord and then you don't have to do anything.
Exactly. You're just grandfathered in.
Exactly. Lastly, I want to thank our wonderful patrons. We have Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast. Billy Joseph Jr., Andrew Schoening, Corey Morissette, Daniel Collins, Rudy5453, the Flicks and Friends Podcast, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, Anna Presley, Doom Generation, Eric Stein, Jason, Robert Stewart, and the Baron's Hideout Podcast. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon, and thank you to everybody else for just supporting the show, period. It means a lot that people keep listening to the show and supporting the show, and make sure to share the show out there. Like, comment, subscribe over at the YouTube channel. If thank you for supporting the video versions of the show. You get to see whatever the hell we're doing over there. That's it, guys. That's all I got. It's my favorite part of the show. But I'm spent. And now it's time to hop into my cool little car and hopefully not get run off the road by a big giant tractor trailer truck. So yeah, until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela. And that is Darin Lundberg of NostalgiaCast and Back to Bluey. This has been another episode of the Dissect That Film Podcast, episode 199. We'll see y'all again next week for 200. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
That.